Yeah, it certainly shapes to be a great finals campaign in Division 4. That's EFL Sunday, done and dusted. Of course, we'll be back soon to take you through the pre-match of East Ringwood and North Ringwood here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. Frosty, thanks for joining us here on EFL Sunday.
Oh, EFL Sunday is always a pleasure, Gus, and I'm going to go down and grab a burger and perhaps throw over to Brash to jump into the chair for the warm-up in pre-game, so I'll be back at the start of the game.
Thanks for you, Razor. We look forward to hearing both of you during the call today on special comments. But Razor, thanks for your time on here on EFL Sunday.
That's right. Now, can I get here at 12 o'clock next week too?
Yeah, you can certainly. You can come to East Ringwood and watch the juniors. I'm sure they'll love to see you play. You can come give special comments on the under-9s next week. My name's Gus McLeod. Thanks for joining us here on EFL Sunday. Keep your dials locked to Radio Eastern 98.1, North Ringwood and East Ringwood. Coming at you live right here on Radio Eastern 98.1.
Oh, I've got a couple of best friends. Just great people with big hearts.
I met him in kindergarten.
We both keep each other grounded.
He's in the Defence Force.
4 best friends, actually. They're like my sisters.
She's really caring and funny.
He runs amok every weekend, so I haven't seen him that much because I'm married.
We've always just clicked.
Best friend lives in the country.
She's the best.
When celebrating a loved one's life, don't leave it to just anyone to organise. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
Probably amongst my friends, I'm known for my sense of humour.
So people know me for my laid-back attitude.
I work too much and I play too much sport and I'm a fantastic mum.
My striking good looks.
I can sing.
Do a lot of running and swimming and surfing.
My karaoke.
Getting overly passionate about sport.
I try to be there for everyone. I think that's what I would be known for in my group.
Be remembered for the great moments in your life. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Warm-up continues right here on EFL Saturday.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day. This is pre-match now coming up on Radio Eastern 98.1. It's the big clash this afternoon between East Ringwood and North Ringwood. This traditional Sunday clash that happens twice a year, and this time it's East Ringwood's turn to host it this season. Currently in the reserve grade, we're 17 minutes into the third quarter, and it's a healthy lead to North Ringwood, 8-5-53, leading East Ringwood 3-6-24. Joining me for pre-match this afternoon, Will Taylor. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brash. Looking forward to this game. I guess it's more important for North Ringwood to win this game than it is to East Ringwood this afternoon.
And the media manager, Dan Sensick, also joins us this afternoon for pre-match. Good afternoon, Dan.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brash, and good afternoon to all the listeners out there. It's a sensational day for footy, isn't it? A little bit windy out here, but the East Ringwood grounds are held up really well given the winter conditions we've had lately. But always a great rivalry, this one. And the round one clash, of course, produced a combined total of 5 goals between the two sides. So hopefully the weather's a bit kinder today and we see a few more goals kicked.
I actually think this has probably been the norm, those 5-goal games in probably the last 3 out of 4 games. The times these two have met, they'd probably be relishing the fact this afternoon that they're playing on a good surface with a bit of breeze. And, both sides have had an indifferent season, I would think, Dan. East Ringwood, they haven't won. They haven't won out of turn, so to speak. North Ringwood have shown glimpses that for most of their games this year, they've been able to match it with the big ones for, at least 3 quarters.
Well, North Ringwood had a fantastic win last weekend over Norwood, of course, and they hadn't beaten them since, I think, 2003, 2004,
Correct.
2003. Yep. Yeah, so it had been a long time since they defeated them. So that's got to lift the spirits of North Ringwood. And as you say, Brash, they may have had an inconsistent year, but I think they're still a fairly young side, the Saints. So that goes a long way to explaining that.
What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I think North Ringwood are really good form, Dan, because if you have a look at the last 4 weeks, they've been Blackburn by 17 points in round 9 in Blackburn. They came very close to beating Vermont. They only fell short by 38. They almost beat South Croydon just down the road by 21 points. Then as you mentioned, they beat Norwood as well. So 4 quality teams, and they've done very well. They should have a lot of confidence to go to this game against East Ringwood.
Yeah, well, East Ringwood, look, let's be honest, they've struggled a little bit this year. They've had some good moments, but they really haven't had much to cheer about this year, Dan.
No, they haven't really, but look, they're having a crack week in, week out.
Oh,
That's
they
all
are.
you can really ask. I was talking to Les Ferguson off air, and and sort of we were talking about the competitiveness of Division 1. What do East Ringwood need to do to, I suppose, get back into the finals race in Division 1 in future years?
Well, I think Marcus, when Marcus put out through the Leader newspaper that they actually now get a chance in the next 18 months to, and to have a look and realise where they actually are at. And I think not only East Ringwood but some of the other clubs will get a chance now to either decide, do we go for broke and try and recruit a couple next year, like East Ringwood may have to stay up in what will be Premier Division in 2019, or do they accept their fate and go with the squad and bring the youngsters through it and hopefully win enough games so they don't go down? Would you see that as being a possibility?
Well, I'd love to see East Ringwood stay up in Division 1.
I do too.
I think they're a well-structured club.
Yep.
They're a very, very well-run club right from the top. I think history says that they deserve to be up here. They're a Division 1 club. I mean, look, walking through the social rooms on the way in here, the 02 flag, for example, that was a great part of their history, and it'd be a shame to see them drop down the divisions, because once you drop down, it's very hard to get back up again.
Yeah, and at the moment, Knox have taken all before them so far in Division 2, but last year they really struggled in Division 1. So, look, it's still a bit of a quantum leap coming up from, you may go down as from Division 1 and dominate Division 2, but that's no guarantee that when you come back up to the big time that you're going to be able to make an impact.
Yeah, that's correct. But I guess for East Ringwood's sake, look, they've got real quality players, especially in the junior side of things. They've got the under-19s have been successfully making finals year in, year out. I think those players will have another year to develop in the seniors, and don't be surprised next year that they'll probably climb up the ladder a little bit more and really surprise a couple of teams next season.
I think really, in essence, for the clubs that are sitting in that 8 to 12 region, Dan, it's really important in the next 12 months that they do try and bunker down and try and get their under-19s back up and running again, because it's going to be the things that's going to feed them in the future. But also the fact that, and this is probably where East Ringwood have missed out a little bit, they've had fantastic under-19 sides that have won flags in the last 10 years, but it doesn't seem to have translated for them up through the seniors.
No, you're definitely right, Brash, and I think this next 18 months is going to be frantic in those Division 1 clubs. In that, as you mentioned, that 8 to 12 spot.
Yep.
They're going to be going out, shopping around, just trying to save themselves from going down to, well, it will be called Division 1 when it does come in, but I'd love to see East Ringwood and the like stay in the Premier Division of what it will be called. So I think it's going to be a big marketplace in the next few years.
Yeah, I think you're going to be. I think that you're right. I think the transfer market will be very liquid next year, especially in all divisions, really, because I don't think. Like I said, there'll be sides there that will really want to maintain their status, I reckon, Will.
Yeah, definitely right. And not, as you mentioned, it's not just Division 1, but all the divisions, because for the fact that, I guess, for many clubs out there in the EFL, I just think the more important thing is to try to keep their supporter base and trying to get players to come into their club to really sustain themselves in that particular division.
That's exactly right, Will. I was talking to Les Ferguson last week before the huddle, and I think one thing East Ringwood might have lost over the years, and it was once a destination club. And now, so a lot of these clubs, they're going to need to make themselves a destination club to, I suppose, to attract those players to start with. And look, you look at East Ringwood Footy Club, you've got your beautiful facilities down here. The new facility, the Cooper Smith Pavilion, and of course the ground holds up really well.
Yep.
It's a great place to be playing footy. So I would say that they've already got a few irons in the fire.
Well, I also think too, Dan, that before we really get into the depth of the game, if you're going to reduce, right, Division 1 and Division 2 into 10 teams, you know that there's going to be some players from those divisions, right, that don't want to play, right, and that's where that bottom 6 to 10 or 8 to 12 side next year, they actually may benefit from the fact that there may be some players that don't want to play in those lower divisions. They may want to come and play for a side that looks like they'll be playing in Premier Division. So in essence, what actually happens is the teams may actually get stronger because you're getting the blokes that definitely want to play Div 1 and the ones that, or Premier, and the ones that, want to maybe not be able to make it because of commitment. They might be able to filter themselves out down to, to the lower grades. But I think really, in essence, I mean, look, it really, for both these sides this afternoon, because of the closeness of these games, look, it's very much a derby type game. There's always a lot of, pride on the line when these two sides meet. Look, and history has always shown that there really isn't that much between them.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously in the past, both these two teams were real, I guess, powerhouse in some ways in the early 2000s when they played in Division 1. And it's no different. It doesn't matter where they are on the ladder. They've had great rivalries. But I want to pose this question to both you, Brash and Dan.
Yep.
What games is important to? Is it important to East Ringwood or North Ringwood this afternoon?
Look, to me, I think it's important for East Ringwood. I think North Ringwood, for mine, have done enough to stay up in Division 1 this year. I think, but another win for East Ringwood, this year with 5 to go, I think that would just about make them feel comfortably safe of knowing that they'll be playing Division 1. I mean, look, there's still 5 rounds to go after this run, and there's still a lot of water under the bridge. But look, I think both these clubs will be hell-bent on trying to win as many games as they possibly can. With an eye to the future, Dan.
East Ringwood have probably got more to prove today.
Yep.
You look at North Ringwood, Will, you mentioned earlier that their run of form's been really good. Wins over Blackburn, wins over Norwood. And Brash, you mentioned they've done enough. I reckon they've also exceeded a lot of people's expectations as well. I mean, internally, they probably haven't. They're probably about where they thought they would be. But externally, certainly, I think that a lot of people are quite surprised at how North Ringwood's gone this season. In regards to knocking off some of those better sides in Division 1.
Well, where I actually think North Ringwood actually have improved this year, and I did say this to Pete Banfield a couple of weeks ago on EFL Sunday, was I thought that their difference between when they've played the top 5 sides in recent seasons, they've never really been competitive for roughly a quarter to nearly a half of football. But this year they're running them to 3 quarters. And look, they could have nearly pinched that game against South Croydon a couple of weeks ago too. So, I mean, look, for me, they're not that far off it. I think it comes down to the fact is that in some of those games, the better sides just play the key moments better. That's how I think it comes down to. And obviously, injury and luck. Just before we move on, talk about some of the players. And today, just a quick 3/4 time score here. We see North Ringwood 9 goals, 660, leading East Ringwood 3-6-24. So a 36-point lead here to North Ringwood in the reserve grade this afternoon. Let's talk about a couple of some players this afternoon that have really, have left their mark, for both sides this year. I want to start off with Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill, centre-half forward. Having a great season, I reckon. Played exceptionally well in the interleague game, and has been able to carry over on that form. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I'm definitely right. I think with outs that, and something that North Ringwood have been missing the last couple of years, that real key forward in that forward line that really can kick goals and kick goals in a more consistent basis.
Yep.
And I think they've got that through Tom Hill. But it's also the delivery in that midfield that's been a real problem in the last couple of years for North Ringwood. And now they're delivering that ball into the likes of Tom Hill and given the, I guess, another option inside forward 50.
Dan, two players that have had ripping seasons for North Ringwood, and look, Curtis Dunn and Jaden Van Noonan,
Yep.
I think have had excellent seasons so far for North Ringwood. Curtis is probably he's missed a lot of football, but I remember watching him as a young bloke coming through Norwood. He had exquisite skills and very, very good hand-to-eye coordination, and he seems to have relished the chance that he's got at North Ringwood, and he's really part of the furniture there now.
Yeah, certainly, and that's one of the great things about North Ringwood. They make you feel welcome. It's a great club to go down to. But you mentioned Jaden Van Noonan, Brash, that played an outstanding senior interleague game back in May. Always, I suppose he's very handy up forward for North Ringwood. But another player that really catches my eye, I think he kicked 4 goals last weekend, is Charlie Haley.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's having a great year, and he's speaking to Peter Banfield on EFL Sunday last weekend. He's had his own personal challenges this year. He's apparently he's worked night shift, and so that's knocked him around a bit. So he's kind of had to overcome that and turn up to game day and perform as well. So it's a real credit to him the way he's been able to come out and kick goals, and also provide me with Westfield Knox Plays of the Week as well.
And also too, you can't really talk about North Ringwood without talking about the captain, Jack Whelan. Sensational player, has been a great play for North Ringwood for many years. He's small by stature, but I tell you what, he's as hard. He works so hard in and under Will. And I tell you what, he doesn't leave anything on the ground when he comes off on a Saturday night.
Exactly right, Dan. And I guess and that's something that you can't really teach a player. To really had that, I would dare say, he's definitely the heart and soul of North Ringwood, especially the way he plays his footy. And that's something that most of the clubs would love to have in their football club. Someone like a Jack Willie, his leadership skills, the way he goes about the game and knowing where his teammates are on the field. And he's done that for so many years. We've seen that in all their premiership years, and it's shown that especially in Division 1 this season.
I think another player too, I mean, you look at the experience here of Harbeck, Sharp and Jimmy Dean, and even Matt Shepherd who's come across from Baldwin and started to make his name at the North Ringwood, but a guy that really flies under the radar and probably doesn't get as much many accolades, but he's rated very highly in this competition. Dan, is Tim Jones off that half-back line. He's got exquisite skills too, and he just knows how to find the ball and set up his teammates further down the field.
I'd go as far to say Tim Jones is one of the most underrated players running around in Division 1. We don't hear too much about him. We hear more about players from your Vermonts, Baldwins, Noble Parks, but sitting in the middle rung of Division 1 at the moment, Tim Jones at North Ringwood. We don't hear a great deal about him, but he's one of those players that plays his role week in, week out, and he's a big reason that North Ringwood have had the recent run of form that they've had.
I think it's really hard. I mean, look, it's very hard. I think you hit the nail on the head, Dan. When we don't cover sides, maybe for 12 to 18 months, some of their best 6 players always seem to fall under the radar, and probably we don't give them the recognition that they deserve. But it is hard for us to go and watch every single side every week, and obviously it's a balancing act. So we're relying on others, to help us form our judgments. But the thing is, the people that have spoken to us rate Tim Jones very highly, and look.
Would that be a great thing for the North Ringwood coaching staff, though, that Tim Jones is underrated? Therefore, opposition clubs might not. They may focus on your Jack Whelan and on your Van Noonan and even Charlie Haley, while Jones might go a little bit unnoticed and he's free to run around.
I think the thing is you do that at your peril, because he's just one of those players that when he's on song, he'll cut you up, right?
Yep.
And the thing is, where that tends to lead to is all of a sudden then the opposition has to be reactionary, and then on that particular day they may be forced into taking a player of higher ability to curb his influence, and then they lose some impetus from another position where they thought they were going to get a winning position. Let's have a look at some of the East Ringwood players, and one player that has been a fantastic servant for this club is Chris Cherney, number 5. Last year in the home and away season, he was in their best 17 out of the 18 games last year, and he was very stiff not to make it 18.
Yes.
But gentlemen, he doesn't look let's be honest, he doesn't look a footballer, Chris, but he's a bit Greg Williams-like.
It's a big call, Brash.
Well,
tree trunk legs.
Well, in the fact that he just knows where to run to, and where the positions to run to get the ball. I think he is certainly he's certainly been a fantastic player for this club. I would think, Dan.
Yeah, certainly, and one that stands out to me, and he's having another great year from what I've seen so far. Yep. David Evans-Marcy.
Yeah.
He's what's his nickname? He needs a nickname. Should we call him the Hyphen?
Yeah. I want to know how.
There's too many hyphens.
Well, it went from David Marcy's at Scoresby to David Evans-Marcy. So that somewhere along the line, he's adopted something, or he's adopted a name or something. When he was at Scoresby, he was one of the powerhouse midfielders.
Yep, exactly right.
I watched him play. When he played at Scoresby, there was about half a dozen games. I reckon he was at the peak of his powers, and he was running through the midfield like an absolute man possessed, and it was almost like the opposition had no answer to him, Dan. It was almost like they couldn't slay the beast.
Yeah, that's. I remember watching Scoresby during that era, and yeah, you're right. It was almost like he wouldn't have a shower the night before.
No.
It's not as though no one would man up on him. It's just that no one could get near him, and he was always free to roam around and have a great year, which is what he's doing this year again at East Ringwood.
Well, I think also too, and the thing is, obviously, there were circumstances that him and Brenton Legg that they'd left Scoresby and now at East Ringwood, but also too, look, Brenton Legg's been I actually think he's become actually a better footballer since he left Scoresby and has come to East Ringwood. He's I believe he's a captain. Well, he is a captain now. I think he's a captain. So that's a kudos to him. But a couple of other players that that also come to mind is Dean Cleveland in the ruck and Andrew Renton. Andrew Renton...
been a good player for a while.
Yes.
He has been. He's been a good player. And the thing is, he takes a big mark and he can kick a big goal. They probably need a bit more out of him. You look at blokes like... now, interesting, two blokes that joined East Ringwood this year from Mooroolbark, Jaden Bishop and Cal Hervonen. Both accomplished footballers at Mooroolbark have decided that they'll try their luck at East Ringwood in Division 1 this year. I don't know how I haven't had a chance to speak to anyone on their form, but on their day, Will, they're as good a footballer as any running around in this division.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I've seen a lot of Mooroolbark games in the past, and I thought...
Were they one of your teams, Will?
No.
You had your Bayswater, you had your Basin, with Mooroolbark.
Not quite. But when they were in Division 2, I thought those two players were very stiff to not be up there in the team of the year in Division 2 a couple of years ago. I thought, and coming over to Division 1, I thought they were going to step up to the plate. They've done that in some ways, but I guess they've got a bit more work to do in regards to, trying to figure out how to, consistently play well like they did in Division 2 at a high level like Division 1.
Another player too that's an important part of the cog, Dan, for East Ringwood is number 3, Josh Waitman.
Yep.
Coming through the midfield as an on-boiler. He's played at the higher level,
yep.
and definitely, he's a quality footballer. He delivers the ball well. He's able to run back and forward defensively and forwardly. So he works both ways up and down the ground. Another crucial player, I think, for East Ringwood this afternoon if they're going to get up. A couple of young players that have always caught my other Bearlow brothers, Dylan and what's
James
and James Bearlow. I reckon both those boys have got a lot of ability. They've been nurtured and they're starting to mature into good footballers. And one guy that I really would love to see take the competition by the throat. I think this young man has got a terrible lot of ability. He absolutely tore it up as a junior, and that's Jaden Battaglini.
Yes.
If he's not injured, he's run. And if he's fit, he's run in the midfield and around that forward line. He's an opportunist. He knows where the goals are, but he can create. He's just got that little bit of X factor that he can create something from nothing.
Exactly right, and especially in the East Ringwood's final runs they had in under 19s the last couple of seasons. Especially, I can remember the grand final a couple of years ago, and I thought the Brillo brothers and obviously Ballagrady had stellar games that really got their team over the line, especially those crucial moments in that third and fourth quarter where everything was on the line and when the game was in the balance. I thought those two really pushed that East Ringwood to that premiership a couple of years ago. And I'm sure that, they're definitely going to be the future of this club, that is for sure.
We're hoping to get either one of the coaches up here shortly for a bit of a chat this afternoon. But just an update in the score here in the last quarter in the reserve grade between North Ringwood and East Ringwood. It's North Ringwood 9-8-62, in front by 32 points over East Ringwood 4-6-30, and that's at the 12-minute mark of the last quarter. Conditions this afternoon, gentlemen. Ground, I've had a walk of the ground in recent times. I feel that ground's probably near the best it's ever been this afternoon, so it's going to be a fair playing surface for the for both sides. The wind's up a little bit, so they could make things interesting. Accuracy's going to be important this afternoon.
Definitely. I'll be down on the boundary down there, bracing the conditions down there. And look, I had a little check of the ground as well myself, and I think that's the best I've ever seen East Ringwood's ground, been in a long, long time, and can't wait to see how this game pans out. The wind factor may not be as much as what you think it is.
Probably not.
Out there. But I think
the air is thinner up here on the balcony.
True, yeah. but in regards to, if you're talking about, I guess, there's any end that has a goal advantage, I don't think there is. I think it's more swirling around more than anything. But look at the trees as well. I don't think there's much of a breeze going either way.
I have to admit, Dan, the new facilities and club rooms here at East Ringwood have been open for a couple of weeks now, and on first inspection, it looks a fantastic site here.
It's a stellar facility, isn't it? The Cooper Smith Pavilion. You can already see the faithful gathering in there, having a beer, watching the game, and look, I think that's almost the way forward with the semi-professionalism of Division 1 football now. I suppose most clubs really need to have a certain facility to accommodate the crowd.
Well, it seems funny nowadays. It's almost like now that you've got to have an electronic scoreboard. That seems to be the number one prerequisite.
You've got to have an FPOS machine at your canteen as well. An
FPOS machine, and also you've got to have, hopefully, a new club room built within the last 2 or 3 years, and we know that there is a lot of work going into the Eastern Football League in updating a lot of the club rooms. So look, it's it's starting to become a very good welcoming environment every Saturday afternoon if you want to come and watch a game of local footy.
Well, I was chatting to Les Ferguson off air, and he's looking at our setup with the monitor and of course all the cameras and everything like that. And one of the things I suppose that him and his team didn't have when they first started broadcasting the EFL back in the day was a nice heated club room facility to call the game from behind glass. And we've had plenty. We're on the balcony today, but we've had plenty of that over the course of the year, and we are absolutely spoiled here on the media.
I'll tell you what, BWS is going to love this setup this afternoon. I bet you can hardly wait to get here. Hurry up and get here, and do what you do best. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back after the break and talk a little bit more about the big game this afternoon. This is EFL Game Day. It's East Ringwood versus North Ringwood live on Radio Eastern 98.1.
Up the Mitcham Tigers! Down the Burners!
Let's go, Panthers!
What a mark! Let's go, doggies!
Tobin Brothers Funeral, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
Up the doggies!
Go, the Bloods!
Great goal, Devils! Can the Valers!
Tobin Brothers Funeral, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
The warm-up continues right here on EFL Saturday.
Welcome back to EFL Game Day. It's a special Sunday edition. It's East Ringwood versus North Ringwood this afternoon here on Radio Eastern 98.1. My name is Wayne Brasher. Joining me for pre-match is Will Taylor and media manager Dan Sensick. And
I love Brash how I'm no longer just Dan Sensick or Daniel Sensick. I'm media manager.
Oh well,
you always introduce me like that, Brash. I love it.
That's your title, mate, and that's how you.
If that's my title, then your title, Brash, can be Stats Guru or
no, that's
Division One Guru. Because if you haven't had a read of Brash's stats, make sure you do so because they are absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much for those kind words. We've just had the team sheets here, gentlemen, for this afternoon, and a couple of changes. And a big change, I reckon, for East Ringwood with Brenton Legg out this afternoon. That's a big loss for them, Dan.
Yeah, we were just talking him up actually.
I was going to say.
Have we jinxed him? Have we? But who comes in for Legg?
Young Isaac Delaney, number 35.
Okay.
I think if it's the Delaney that I know, I think I played football with his father, Mark, many, many years ago. He wasn't a bad footballer.
What sort of footballer were you, Brash?
I was very, very...
Nuggety Rover?
No, I was very ordinary forward pocket, mate. A very ordinary forward pocket. I reckon I got 3 touches a game. That's why I never got a game of footy. So I wasn't all that good, mate. But I had my moment in the sun. I kicked 10 one day for a Box Hill Adelphians, but that was my greatest claim to fame, mate. In fact, my greatest claim to fame was being carried off on a scoreboard and taken to Heidelberg Repatriation Hospital because I thought I might have, because I actually thought I might have been, they thought I might have become a paraplegic because I lost all sense in my legs. So yeah, that's my claim to fame. And but no, I love covering EFL football and I love doing the work that I do for our team. So that being said, Will. Tim Eckers is also back in the side. He'll be wearing a jumper 58. Another family that has been synonymous with the East Ringwood Football Club is the Eckers family.
Correct.
They've produced some, Tim and Marty, just to name 2 that are playing today, have been also been great players for East Ringwood and still are. They're still here and they still have their influence around the club, Dan.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I think every club needs those sorts of people.
Oh, you got to have them.
Particularly at local footy when you might be a bit stretched and light on for volunteers. But you look around the different clubs and there's always that one family or there's a couple of families that are always there and they've always been there for the club. And it's just invaluable to local footy. It's one of the things I love actually about getting out to the clubs, meeting the volunteers. They're just they're fantastic people.
If you didn't have them, we'd have no hamburger hunt, or we'd have no one to talk to. I mean, some of that I just love going out to the clubs and having to talk to the people that are around because, look. Will, and you know, because you're out and about too, and you go to communities that that aren't even a lot of the time in Metro Victoria, but the sense of community spirit is fantastic wherever you go nowadays.
Yeah, exactly right, Brash, and I guess without that, and especially without the volunteers who put their, time and to help a club like a footy club, but any sporting club for that matter, is really valuable to any sporting club. It doesn't matter what it is, from canteen to coaches to team managers. And for those, and I want to take this time to really congratulate every single one across the EFL, especially those volunteers that don't get recognised by a lot of people behind the scenes. They do a fantastic job, and they should be commended for what they do.
Yeah, certainly. And let's not forget our own team, media team volunteers. Absolutely fantastic job that they do as well. And it definitely doesn't go unnoticed by the wider community, because if you don't have a media team, then the media coverage suffers.
Well, the thing is, and the fact that I think in this day and age, gentlemen, I firmly believe that there are a lot of people out there that are still looking at an alternative to AFL football. Not everyone can afford to go to the AFL every Saturday afternoon or every second week. It's not cheap to go out to a day of AFL, but you come to a place like an AFL game of football, you got all your mates here. You can have a can, you can eat a pie. You can talk to the players after the game. You're involved, and that's what community football and spirit's all about. Well, the game's drawing to a close here in the reserve grade, and it looks like it's going to be a comfortable victory here for North Ringwood. They're leading currently 10-9-69 to East Ringwood 4-6-30.
Lemon chicken.
Yeah. Yep, at the 22-minute mark, so there wouldn't be too much time left, and look, 15 seconds I've been told. Oof. So look, it's going to be a great game out here this afternoon, and look, the call team's going to be coming on very shortly.
There it goes. It's full time.
So what we might do, Brucey, is we're going to take a break now, mate, and the call team led by Ben Warren Smith and Dan Sensick are going to take over and call the big game this afternoon. It's East Ringwood versus North Ringwood, live on Radio Eastern 98.1.
Go Zebras! Can the Dockers!
Can the Eagles!
Up the Bulls!
Tobin Brothers Funeral, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
Up the Doggies!
Go the Bloods!
Great goal, Devils! Can the Vailers!
Tobin Brothers Funeral, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Huge day out here at East Ringwood today as the big Division 1 local derby clash between the East Ringwood Football Club and the North Ringwood Football Club go toe-to-toe on a standalone clash out here, and we're on the balcony of the Maroondah Sports Club, one of the best places to call local football in the land. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Great to be out here once again. The new pavilion looks absolutely sensational. A great job on EFL Sunday by Gus hosting, and of course the two beds, Pete and Ray, and of course Wayne Brasher. Well, he just steps in unannounced, really, doesn't he? He came in and hosted pre-match. What a great job he does, Brash. He just puts his hand up for absolutely everything. He might actually be a front runner almost to be the first dual Clinton Grybust award winner this year, Wayne Brasher. He's doing a sensational job, isn't he?
Thought you were talking about me for a minute there.
No, you got to be kidding me, mate. You're disqualified anyway. Well, not disqualified. You're ineligible this year.
There's an age limit.
Yeah, age limit. Youth policy.
Change the rules, mate. You make them up as you go along anyway.
Well, that's it. That's what happens when you get to run the show, isn't it, Ray? And then the people like you just get to abide by them.
Tell you what, mate. the way you're stacking on the weight, it's the only run you could do too,
oh,
mate.
Geez.
Oh, it's all this.
Get him off. Brash is still here. I can still take that headset off you, mate.
That's right.
No, good to be out here, gents. And it's a brisk Sunday out here at East Ringwood. But
brisk? It's bloody freezing.
It's absolutely, well, you can see Ray's wearing about 800 layers down there, and he's already complaining, why aren't we behind the glass? And I'm like, now you're complaining about calling it an elevated level on true centre wing position.
If he doesn't stop whinging, I'm going to throw his mittens and his beanie off the balcony.
Throw him off with it. Well, BW, no, that was a bit harsh, sorry,
Yeah.
Razor. BWS, welcome to you, mate. Obviously really looking forward to calling today's game of football. There is a banner down there, Frosty. You might have to ask our boundary riders to find out who actually is the banner is for. I imagine it's someone playing a milestone game. But it looks like a pretty nice setup they've got down here. Like you said, BWS, true centre wing position. Let's cross boundary side to Will Taylor.
The banner down there is for Anthony Sharp's 150th game for North Ringwood.
Yeah, thanks for that one, Will. So Anthony Sharp, BWS, a really talented player and obviously a great accolade, playing 150 games for the One Football Club.
Yeah, the little number 2, he's been fantastic, hasn't he, Frosty, for a number of years now. A great in and under player, head over the football, always chasing it around wherever it is across the ground as well. He's a ripper.
Yeah, pound for pound, he's one of the best players going around in the competition. Not much of him in size, but really goes in hard, runs with the ball, carries, beautiful disposal. So, yeah, congratulations, a real great effort, 150 games for North Ringwood.
So the North Ringwood Football Club make their way onto the ground just to set up that guard of honour for Anthony Sharp. So impressive looking banner down there. Got Lockie Green once again on the camera today. Excited to have him back for round 2 after a brilliant job yesterday. You can see Les Ferguson in the background giving a big wave. Great to see Leslie out here as well, watching his boys. They're up to have us down here today, and we couldn't be happier. Gentlemen, let's go around. Lee Green's wearing a headset this afternoon. Is that working? Are you chiming in today, Leroy?
I do believe it's working. I've only got it on to keep my ears warm though, BWS.
Great to have you here, making sure everything runs swimmingly. And those replays and comments on the screen for our viewers have just been a perfect added addition this year. I know we've had a lot of great feedback about that, and we certainly love it here on the team. Guys, let's go through our selections for this afternoon, starting with you, Ray Baird. How do you see this one panning out?
I just think that coming into this game, North Ringwood, they got the better record. They're playing some pretty good football. They've taken some big scalps this year already, and I do think they'll have too much class for East Ringwood.
How about you, Peter Baird?
I'm actually on East Ringwood. I reckon they can cause a bit of an upset this afternoon. I reckon they'll be buoyed by the opening of the new facilities out here. A lot of support out here today for East Ringwood, and they all believe that this is a game they can win. So I'm on the Roos this afternoon.
Yeah, I tend to disagree. I like the way North Ringwood play their footy. They play footy, which they know that wins games of footy. They lock down the contest hard, led by one of the best back lines in the competition. You look at the likes of Decker and Michael Loco. They lead their back six very, very well. Got a few Andy forwards up there with Van Unen, young Sammy Banfield, and obviously I love their engine room, led by Joshy Ralph and Max Tarutara in the ruck. I think the Saints will be too strong today, BWS.
Well, let's cross down boundary side to our boundary riders this afternoon. They are Will Taylor and Max Stankamp. Guys, give us your selections for today, starting with you, Wilbur.
Yeah, I think North Ring will win this game because they're in great form at the moment. They won 2 of the 4 games against the top 5 teams. I think they'll get over the top here in the local derby.
And Max Stankamp joining the team once again. Great to have you back on board, Max. How do you see the game playing out today, mate?
BWS. I think North Ringwood will get up today for Anthony Sharp's 150th. I just think they're slightly too strong for East Ringwood today, but East Ringwood might push them.
It's a difficult one to pick. At the start of the week, I did pick North Ringwood, but I've been scratching my head on that selection all week. I'm a little bit iffy about it. Do we know if Jaden Van Unen's playing the game today? Because I know that last week he did go off injured and he did go to hospital, so I thought that there might have been a question mark. He is certainly playing, so that's exciting because I love watching him go about his business. I'm not going to change my tip. I'm going all right in the footy record on page 3, so I think I'll stick with North Ringwood today, and we'll see if they can get over the line. But it's traditionally a very close, low-scoring game over recent times between these two sides, Raymond.
Yeah, and I noticed there's a number 21, the big boy out there for North Ringwood. We haven't got him on our team sheet.
That's big Joshy Ralph. So, you know, he wears the 22. He's wearing number 21 today.
Oh, okay.
Joshua Ralph coming across from the Blackburn Football Club. Keep an eye over him. Joshy Ralph will go to the ruck and almost play as a fourth on ball. He's due for a big game of footy today.
Just hearing a few announcements coming over the speaker there, but we're not too far away from this game getting started. It is already 2:10, so we are a few minutes behind. But the ground looks pretty good, doesn't it, Frosty?
Oh, it's always a good surface out here, and with the new facilities as well, I mean, this is a really good spot now to come and watch EFL football from, and you're spoilt for choice. There's shelter from the wind and rain, but not that we're going to have any rain this afternoon. But yeah, it's a great condition, and I think there should be good conditions for a good game of footy this afternoon.
Ray, you checked out the new pavilion next door. It's taken a while to all come together, but it looks magnificent from the outside. But of course, you swanned in there and kissed babies and took some autographs while you're in there as well.
Got stuck in the lift, didn't know how to push the right button to get down to the ground level, so he got stuck in the lift.
You're a bit slow today, aren't you, Ray?
I'm no comment. No comment.
No, what is it like in there, mate? You impressed?
Seriously, I am a bit slow today because I'm getting over meeting Miss Australia's representative, Miss Universe at Vermont yesterday.
Oh, did you now? Did you get yourself a photo down there?
No, I'm not. No, my name's not Will Taylor.
Will Taylor will be very, very jealous of that situation, and he'll be disappointed you didn't take the opportunity to get a photo op. But talking about the pavilion, how does it look? How does it look inside?
Absolutely magnificent facilities to watch cricket or football from, and you'll be very impressed, BWS, because there's a magnificent bar in there as well. Set up. I tell you what.
I'm guessing it'll be my shout because it's never your shout either, is it? Right? Just about to get underway here for the big local derby. East Ringwood taking on North Ringwood. Players just making their way to position. Looking forward to Gus McLeod kicking us off here.
Will Taylor, there is a number 12 starting in the centre of the ground for North Ringwood. If you could guess a number and a name for that one, that would be sensational. Sirens about to sound here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. Let's go into it. Cleveland and Ralph go into the ruck. Tap was one down by Ralph. North Ringwood looking to go long down to the forward line, looking to try to find a target here in Big Tommy Hill. He spoils towards the boundary line, finds 150 gamer in Sharp. Sharp finds a small target there in Harbeck. Harbeck shoots for the first goal of the game, and that one drifts to the far side. North Ringwood kick off the scoring 20 seconds into the game with a behind. Let's go boundary side now to Will Taylor.
Yeah, number 12 for East Ringwood is Lee Osborne.
Thanks for that one, Will. East Ringwood looking to kick in now through the likes of Bello. Bello, not many options building for him. Umpire's probably going to ask him to play on now. That he does. So he goes long right in front of our broadcasters and trying to find Cleveland. Cleveland goes up. Big spoil from the back there from Joshy Ralph. He puts on the block as Cleveland just trickles the ball across the boundary side. True centre wing position. We'll have a boundary throw in here. 1 minute gone at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. Score is North Ringwood by 1 point. Boundary umpire to throw it in. Ralph and Cleveland do battle. Tap one down by Cleveland. It's only as far as Cerny, and he's been tackled by a big cruncher there from Anthony Sharp, the 150th gamer. Really solid midfield building here for North Ringwood. Once again, tap one down by Ralph. Finds his intended target there in Fenton. Fenton goes long only as far as Patella. The ball's probably just going to trickle across the boundary line here. Well kept in by North Ringwood. They'll earn themselves a behind from that one. Great forward pressure there from Sammy Banfield, BWS, and North Ringwood move out to a 2-point lead. 1.5 minutes gone here at East Ringwood.
So James Balo goes short. Hits up his teammate there in Chadwick in the back pocket for the ruse. Will he use the grandstand side, or will he look for the switch? Yep, he's going to take off to the races here on the left boot. Wants to switch the play. It was a risky kick, but it was centimetre perfect as well. And East Ringwood now through the arms of Farmer will work their way out of that defensive arc. Far side out here at East Ringwood Reserve. Kick up towards the wing position, going in there and picking up the football. There was Jones. That was okay. Got a looping handball over the top. He was looking for his teammate there in Shepherd. Tried to keep it alive. Jackie Whelan was there for support, and the paint beats all players. Over she goes for a boundary throw in right in front of the cricket nets out here.
East Ringwood just need to be a bit more careful coming out of defence. That one kick, leaving their defensive 50, hasn't hit the target on 3 occasions now, and it just gives North Ringwood the chance to load up and send it straight back in there again.
Cleveland and Ralph go at it, still across that half-forward line for North Ringwood. Good handball there by Bailo. Got the handball out wide. Here's Evans Marcius. This way, that way, little handball across to the big man Cleveland. They're linking up right underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard where Jones on the left goes up towards the wing position and might have got out of bounds on the full. Renton took the mark, but unfortunately for him, the kick went wide. It's very gusty out here. So Loco, or Loco, whichever way you want to call it, we'll go with whatever Gus reckons in the end on that one as it comes out. Well, I got it right to begin with, and now North Ringwood, their first chance to go forward. The ball really carried in that instant. Chasing after it first there was Bailo. He couldn't quite trap it. Wheeler might have given away a free kick that time, but is picked up by Eckers. He got the handball away to Waitman, who was crunched in a tackle. He released the football to Bishop. He was brought to ground. Well done by Sam Whelan in the long sleeves to do that. And we'll have a bounce about 40 metres out from the North Ringwood goal.
Yeah, so Ralph wins the tap down, trying to find his teammate there in Van Eunen. Big crunching tackle, long sleeve. Van Eunen comes over the top, and great pressure applied there from Sam Whelan once again. Martin Eckers getting plenty of the football early. Renton wins the tap down, tries to find a teammate there in Powell. That he does. Powell goes to the top of the goal square. Great pressure running back with the flight there from Sharp. He finds Michael Loco wearing the helmet as Loco looks to go long down the wing to find his teammate in Mark Griffiths. Griffiths takes a mark in the long sleeve. Swings around to his right boot. Poor kick. Finds the East Ringwood big man in Cleveland. Cleveland kicks it straight back to where he came. That was terrible. Finds his opposition teammate there in Fenton. Fenton switches the middle ground trying to find Hill. Great spoil over the back there from Chadwick. Ball just pinballing around the centre. It's finding its way to Griffiths. Griffiths goes to Ralph. Ralph's handball's intercepted. Now East Ringwood can counter-attack. Looking to go long to find the big man in Renton. The kick's poor. Renton has time, but he left the footy behind, and Michael Loco says thank you, mother, for the Rabbits. Grabs that footy. Looks to go backwards to go forward. Now East Ringwood can rebound. Bomb-bound tries to find his teammate in Hill. Hill will just settle here. True centre wing position goes in the hand. Trying to find a teammate here in Whelan. Whelan says, don't argue, thanks for coming. Trying to find a teammate here in Griffiths. Great one-handed mark there. And now they'll look to counter-attack. Goes short, inbound, tries to find a teammate here in Sharp. Sharp winds up on the right foot to go to the top of the goal square. Great mark taken there by Rory Harbeck. Great use of the body, and he'll go back to look to put the first major on the board, Ben Warren-Smith.
Oh, that's a great couple of one-handers there, Frosty.
It is, and just a bit cleaner with their ball movement, North Ringwood at the moment. The way they deliver the ball inside 50, East Ringwood just a little bit panicked under pressure.
So Harbeck for the first major of the game, straight over the goal umpire's head, and Rory Harbeck puts East Ringwood out to an 8-point lead. 5.5 minutes played at East Ringwood, a recreation reserve, Ray-Bad.
Yeah, they've played. You said that they're cleaner with their football use, but North Ringwood are also stronger in their body. They're able to shrug off their East Ringwood opponents.
That they certainly are, BWS, but the game's looking like it's going to be very fast-paced early on.
Yeah, it's certainly looking that way. I'd like to get a report from our boundary riders on what the conditions are like groundside. Especially there does look to be a breeze. And certainly walking across from the other side of the ground when I double parked Wilbur's car in, I did notice that as it comes out now, going forward. This time Osborne for the Rosie did well. The second effort was fantastic. On the left boot, sends it in towards the Renton direction. In front of him was Loco, did well to cause the spoil. Coming up to pick it up was Baylor, got the handball away. A lot of footballers around this passage of play here, but nicely done there by Cherney on the right boot. Can he set sail for goal? Standing start from 50. There's a breeze going that way. There's no doubt about that. The quick answer there for the East Ringwood Football Club. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 7 minutes into this first term. They are 1 straight 6, but they trail by 2 behinds. North Ringwood 1-2-8.
Although they're able to come out of that with a goal there, East Ringwood, once again, their delivery inside 50 was just a kick and hope to a contest. They need to really lower their eyes and try and spot up a target. It's going to make it a lot easier. They really have to fight hard to get that on the board, but they've brought the scores back just about to level now, so they're right in this contest still.
So Ralph and Cleveland do battle in the ruck. Bit of a nothing tap there from both ruckmen as Whelan applies a big crunching tackle on the East Ringwood big man, Dean Cleven. And the umpire will ball it up right in the centre circle. So Ralph and Cleven once again. Tap one down by Ralph. Good use of the body, but Cleven's found an outlet. East Ringwood streaming forward. Oh, and he fell over there. Terrible from Batea. And Michael Loco, I think, has given away a free kick for too high, and it's going the way of Darcy Powell. He'll shoot from 45 metres out, but with the breeze, this one will be well and truly in his range.
That was absolutely criminal there by the North Ringwood midfielders to leave it by goal side of a contest. Dean Cleven, very experienced, saw the opening there, shot the handball out. East Ringwood get it forward and get a shot on goal.
So Darcy Powell from the arc. It looks nice off the boot. He certainly likes it, and Darcy Powell goes bang. Back-to-back goals for the Roos. What a cracking start to the game. And that breeze certainly is working into East Ringwood's favour.
Played 2 quick goals for East Ringwood there. It's certainly the opening that they wanted. And you were talking about their entry into the forward line. But if you look down there, and big Andrew Renton, he's coming off the ground right now. But his match-up down there, he's 1.5 foot taller than his opponent. So maybe he's got to stand in the goal square and kick it long.
But that all came about from that poor defensive pressure from the North Ringwood midfielders around that contest. They left it by goal side. Handball came out. Ball gets delivered inside 50.
Well, Cleven got the clear knockout and roved his own football too, the big man. That was good play. Comes out wide. Shepherd tried to trap it for the Saints. Paddled it out to his teammates' advantage in Banfield. Look away handball out the side. That was okay. Shepherd was there to receive it, but it was chopped off in the end there by Delaney. They're close to the boundary line here, East Ringwood. They've been peppering the last few minutes. A kick's being squeezed in. Looking for Osborne. That was chopped off. Turney came in, dumped the ball inside forward 50. Look at the wind. Carry that one a little bit too far. Bailo was able to get the football, got the handball back. Kinsella over the top. Well, they're wasting it a little bit here as Devlin thought he had a little bit more time, and he's brought to ground in a strong tackle and will have a bounce 35 metres out from goal.
Once again, Cherney, just the kick and hope inside 50. Really needs to lower the eyes, try and spot up a target rather than just throw the ball in the boot.
Knock came down Havonen. Couldn't get it out. Eventually, Kinsella got it to Osborne, who arched the back on the left boot. Which way will this one go? He swings it up. That is fantastic. 3 in a row for the East Ringwood Football Club, and they started slowly, but they have gone bang in the last 5 minutes, and they lead this game by a very handy 10 points as we cross down boundary side to Will Taylor.
They choose tap match stats. The clearance is 6-2 in favour of East Ringwood. They had the last 6 clearances so far. Inside forward 50s forward piece in that game. East Ringwood with the last 4, and the tap outs have been so important. 6-4 in favour of East Ringwood.
What's your take on the breeze, Will?
Look, it is a breeze. A little bit of it is. I think it's about a 1 to 2 goal breeze heading to where East Ringwood's kicking towards the Mount Dandenong Road end.
So big tackle applied there from Banfield. Umpire will ball it off right in the centre circle. So into the ruck now, Ralph and Cleven once again. Tap one down by Cleven, trying to find a teammate there in Kinsella. And once again, the ball's just pinballing around in the circle. Over ball up once again. So a big breeze going towards the Mount Dandenong Road end of the ground, and it's created a buffer for the Roos. Tap hit the down, and now his ball's found his way at Sharp. Sharp throws for a big ball into the forward 50. And coming over the back was Griffith. Ball's fallen to the front of the contest. Wood's chasing the ball around with the helmet on his head, and he applies a big tackle. The umpire's paid a free kick for pushing the back. Now East Ringwood can settle and look to transition through their back 50. Not a lot of options fronting up for East Ringwood. So they elect to go long down a true centre wing position. Running back with the flight was Cleven. Ball's pinballed off the deck. Keeping in play there was quite stiff. And Mitch Farmer, brother of Trent, couldn't quite keep the ball alive. And that win certainly is playing into East Ringwood's favour, BWS. As Ralph and Cleven go head-to-head in the ruck once again. What a great battle this is proving to be. Cleven got front spot, tried to find his teammate there in Evers Marcius. As Banfield's kick smothered off the boot. Pinballing around in there was Fenton. Pinballing around once again. A big crunching tackle over the back there from Jones. East Ringwood looked to be away here to Cleven. Cleven's handball found his target. This that way. Sarovan. The ball goes long towards the East Ringwood goal. This one might just trickle out of bounds. That it does. Taken over the boundary line there by Matthew Payne.
Breeze is really the breeze is really pushing across towards the old Daisy's nightclub at the moment.
That's a sign for you to head there after the game, BWS.
They closed that up years ago, mate.
Boundary throw in
I think
back.
I might have got a ban there as well.
Tap one down by Emmons Marcius. Not sure why he's going up in the ruck. But once again, a big tackle coming over the back there was Tim Jones. Ball skidding on the arc of East Ringwood's forward line, broadcast wing position. BWS, take it away.
By throws it up this time. Taratuta couldn't quite get the knockdown, but it comes out well. Here's Fenton on the right boot, switches it out wide to the run of Jimmy Dean. Will it sit up for him? It does. He might have time for a bounce, and set elects to go towards the hill direction. Came out on strong mark. They're about 70 metres out from goal, the Saints. Which option will he take? He'll take the long one, looking for Harbeck. Van Unit at the back, couldn't quite pull it down. He had the sit, and it's eventually rushed through for one behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 13 minutes into this first term, and it is East Ringwood kicking straight at the moment. They're double the score of North Ringwood. 18 plays 9 as the ball comes out. Here's Hubbard on the right boot, switches it in. That was okay. Havonen got the handball away, and now East Ringwood will send themselves forward up towards the half-forward line where a strong mark's been taken by Connor Devlin. Looking for options. Backwards to go forwards. He went for the old one too in the end. Still 2 kicks from home. It was half smothered, but they've still got the numbers across that half forward line. Bishop rode the bump well. Handball back. Little kick inside looking for the Osborne direction, and he takes it, and he takes off to the races, and he slams it home. That's the Vibro goal that ain't contender so far in this match. And I tell you what, that's 2 now for Osborne, and 2 crackers to boot as well, as East Ringwood move to 4 straight goals on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And this is a red-hot clash so far, gentlemen.
You can put that goal down to Osborne, but the guy that set that up was David Evans-Marcius. He dished off the handball, ran back to get it, kicked it in. The kick got smothered, but then was able to keep going the second effort, put the ball on in a perfect spot there for Osborne. Fantastic play then by the experienced David Evans-Marcius.
So tap one down by Taratura. Haven't been too many clean ruck taps today. The ball just kind of pinballs around in the centre circle once again. So Taratura going head-to-head now with Cleveland. Cleveland, great tap down, partner was Renton. Running back with a flight there is Shepherd. His tap was spoiled. Great running carry here from the Roos. The Roos get an ordinary entry, but it's found its teammate. And once again, big crunching tackle coming over the back there from Jones. The umpire will ball it up. East Ringwood getting some great inside forward 50 clearances. Taratura and Renton to go head-to-head in the ruck. 50 out from the East Ringwood goal. Tap one down by Renton, trying to find a teammate there in Patura. Bombed out to the forward 50 by Loco, and it's only as far as his opposition opponent. Now the Roos can counter-attack. Bit of a topsy-turvy punt to the top of the goal square, and taking a big, strong mark there was beautiful from Matthew Payne. He moves the ball on quickly. Oh, big crunching coming over the back there from Eckers. What a great spoil that was. But I think he's given away a free kick in the meantime, and it's going to James Dean. So Dean on the half-back flank for the Saints. They need to slow the play down here and get a bit of possession. They go long down the line trying to find Taratura, but a big fly over the back there from Bello. And the umpire's paid a free kick for high, and it's going to Nicholas McLennan. So McLennan with the ball, true wing position, looks to launch on his left boot to the hot spot, trying to find a teammate, and didn't really do much there in the pack. But the ball's triggered on the boundary line there, and Tim Eckers winning a hard ball front and centre for the Roos. Umpire said that's mine, I'll ball it up. So 15 metres out from goal here, Mount Dandenong Highway end. Tap one down by Taratura. Didn't get much distance on it in there. The bottom of the pack was Hirovan. And a big crunching tackle once again coming over the back there from Jack Whelan. He's been prominent early for the Saints. So Taratura wins a tap down once again and finds Whelan. The ball's just not going anywhere. It's just kind of sitting 15 metres out from the Roos goal. Dangerous position.
Every player in the East Ringwood half of the ground at the moment. So East Ringwood really working a hard press to try and lock this ball in.
So East Ringwood, great forward fifth of pressure. The umpire's going to ball it up once again. I reckon that's all I've commentated so far, BWS, is ball up after the ball up. Let's go to you for some free-flowing play.
Doing a great job, Gus, as Balo, little flick over the back, found Osborne the man of the moment, just fumbled it at the crucial stage. Fenton sees the ball over and out of bounds. 50 metres out from the East Ringwood goal line, currently leading this game by 15 points. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Pye brings the ball back in. Taratua got the knockdown that time. Quick snap around the body though for East Ringwood. Might have gone all the way in the end, but it bounced to the top of the goal square and went right, and that's their first blemish. 17 minutes gone, 4-1-25 they are. 16-point leading over North Ringwood, who are 139, as it'd be Tim Jones to bring the ball back in. He gave that a fair old roost. Who said the wind's going that way as Van Unen takes a strong mark. Scrambling kick into the middle of the ground. Nicely done there by Hardback. The big man kicks the ball inside forward 50, looking for Price. He'll have to go after it a second time because Balo's right on his hammer. Price got the handball away. Charlie Haley this way, that way, ducked and copped one high when he went into the tackle. So he'll consider himself pretty lucky there, Charlie Haley, but he has got the ball about 50 metres out from goal on the most difficult of angles.
One of the biggest pests, serial pests in the EFL, Charlie Haley, gets under the skin of all the back forwards.
Really tough to kick a goal from this pocket. The breeze blown to the other end of the ground and away from the goal, so really tough pocket to kick goals from.
He's a tricky dicky type of player, so it's certainly not beyond him. As he kicks it to the top of the goal square, Renton had a big fist on it, so too did Van Unen, who knocked it to Hill. A Hardback, I should say, who snapped it around the body, easy as you like, and it goes through for a goal. So North Ringwood searching and getting the goal that they desired. Bendigo Bank score, but they trail by 10 points. They're 15, East Ringwood 25.
And both those North Ringwood goals have been kicked by Rory Hardback.
Yeah, that's really poor defensive play then from East Ringwood. They had the big man in the goal square. They couldn't afford for the ball to come to the front of the contest. They had Rory Hardback waiting front and square. They really had to force that ball through for a defensive point right there.
Let's cross down boundary side to Max Stankamp.
There's your big mismatch at full forward for North Ringwood with Thomas Hill with a few inches and a couple of kilos on fullback Owen Chadwick.
Get to the trainer! So now East Ringwood have an inside forward 50 once again with Blias. Great pick up there from Waitman. Waitman goes to the top of the goal. Oh! Joshy Waitman, what an absolute cracker right in front of this. What a great goal. Viro betting goal of the day contender. I actually reckon we could almost shoot that in for the Vibro goal of the day already. Right on the paint of the boundary line. Thank you, mother, for the Rabbits.
Everything's going the way that East Ringwood wanted to go, Pete, but football's a game of momentum, and when you got momentum, you've got to hit the scoreboard, and that's exactly what East Ringwood are doing.
They've had all the play so far, East Ringwood, and they really needed to bounce back. Sort of North Ringwood got one against the run of play, but they've hit back straight away and got one back on the board really quickly.
Let's cross down boundary side to Will Taylor.
They choose tap Mastat. East Ringwood really dominating. 11-70 inside forward 50s. Clearances 10-5 in favour of East Ringwood, and the tap outs to win 13-7.
Thanks very much, Will, as it comes out now. Cherney got the handball back. East Ringwood surged to go forward again this way through. Chadwick had to break a tackle, got the handball away in the nick of time. Eventually comes out to Devlin. He had to trap the football over the top. He goes to the big ruckman there in Cleveland. Little handball away. Probably had more time. That time was Evans Marcy as he rushed it a little bit. Came out and stolen there by Sam Whelan. Handball over the top was chopped off there by Powell. Whelan goes after him once again and will have a bounce 45 metres out from East Ringwood's goals. Grandstand side. Out here, it's 31 playing 15. The breeze is with East Ringwood. It is going right across the ground though. Renton got the knockdown. Nicely done there by Cherney on the right. Boot scrambles it forward, but out of bounds on the full it is. And Heath Decker, former gridiron player down at the range, will bring it back in for the Saints.
So Decker deep in the back pocket for the Roos. Looking to wheel around on the left foot, that he does. Nice long kick, trying to find a teammate there in Whelan. Whelan, so he's going to get paid a free kick for holding. That he does. So Jack Whelan has the ball half-back flank for the Saints.
Sam Whelan.
Sorry, Sam Whelan. Too many Whelans to get my eyes on. Whelan goes short, trying to find a teammate there. Who's he find? His brother in Jack. So Whelan once again. Both wearing the long sleeves. Sorry, one wearing the long sleeves. Ball in the hand of Jack now. He goes long, trying to find a teammate in Haley. Poor kick, but Haley might come out on top here. Gets pushed off the footy. Great work there from Hardwick. I can't see as Brucey's blocking my view, but the ball's with McLennan now. They look to switch. That they do, trying to find a teammate here in Chadwick. Chadwick's got a one-on-one duel here, trying to beat Price. Great tussle with the footy there, and well done by Chadwick. Being pinballed around now, and great pick up there from Sharp. Sharp, can he keep it in? Ball's just going to trickle across the boundary. Calls for out of bounds on the full. The umpire says, no thanks, I'll throw it in. So right in front of the cricket nets here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. Great throw in, and once again, tap one down by Ralph. Ball just pinballing around in the pack now. It's with Cleveland. Cleveland had to get rid of it quickly, and he did. Ball's in the hands now of Kinsella, and a big crunching tackle over the top, and the boys didn't like that one. Jack Whelan in a bit of a duel there with James Bello, but in the meantime, the footy's
Great
coming
kick.
out and a great kick. Finds a teammate here in Farmer. Farmer wheels and go onto the right boot, trying to find a teammate here. He does that so in Brad Jones. Brad Jones goes long into the forward line. Bit of a push in the back there, I thought, from Matty Payne, but he's won the duel. Tries to find a teammate now, and that he does. So James Dean swings around on the hands. Looking to go long there was a big kick from Whelan. Trying to find Charlie Haley with the fluoro boots. Charlie Haley tries to weave and wave. Got his head thrown into the fence there, but it was all in good spirit. We'll have a ball up right in front of Peter Banfield's coaching box.
Banner's looking a bit animated down there at the moment.
That's unlike him.
Very unlike him. As it comes in now, Cleveland had the front spot at the fall. The ball there was Osborne. He hits the deck and we'll have a bounce. Mark Griffiths had him quickly set upon. As we started once again, Ralph and Cleveland. Cleveland got the knockdown kick, scrambled up towards the wing position, making the front spot there was Farmer, but it was nicely knocked away by Dan Wood over the boundary line and out of bounds, right in front of the new pavilion out here at East Ringwood. Fantastic sight it is too. Looks pretty packed in there also. Umpire to bring the ball back into play. Comes out now. Evans Marcius this way, that way. Kick the ball into the middle of the ground. Which way will this one bounce? In my favour, the way of Shield. He did really well then to trap it, then slam it up towards half forward. Harbeck dropped the mark. It just probably came a little bit too quick for him in the end. The kick goes up towards the wing position. Good stretch and mark by Mitch Farmer. So he takes it, weighing up his options. Which way will he go now? He'll go towards the Balo direction. The ball carries and goes out of bounds on the full. Maiko Loco to bring it back into play. The helmeted one right in front of the barbecue tent here. They're getting their score on the huddle on Friday night as the kick goes up towards the Ralph direction at the fall. The ball, Fenton was there. He worked himself out of a phone booth there. That was fantastic play. Kick goes up towards the half forward line. He was looking for Harbeck. Anthony Sharp, the game 150, did really well to knock it back to Sam Banfield, but he was quickly met upon by McLennan for the ruse, and over she goes for another boundary throw-in, 40 metres out from goal. It's down North Ringwood's end. 24.5 minutes gone. Try to bring the ball back into play. It's again the front spot's theirs by Cleveland. Strong tackle by Hervonen there to bring down the skipper Jack Whelan of North Ringwood, and we'll have a bounce. They've inched closer though. It's 40 metres out from goal. Trailing by 16 points are the Saints. The Roos will be looking to get this ball out. A strong tackle there by Whelan once again. Ray Baird, how do you see it?
Look, I think that Peter Banfield will be very happy that North Ringwood have stemmed the flow at the moment, but it's been all the East Ringwood.
So tap one down by Cleveland. Throws around onto the right boot. This could go all the way from Harbeck.
Oh, what a
big
mark!
fly running back with a fly. It's one of the gutsiest things I've ever seen in football. And a great strong mark taken there. Oh, this could be dangerous now for East Ringwood. Poor kick. Van Unen. Ball's pinballing around, thrown to the boot by Banfield. And I think it's gone through for a goal. It has in the end. So what's turned out to be a great piece of play from East Ringwood, they've coughed it up, and Sammy Banfield just throws it onto the left boot with a sneaky goal. That's his first for the game for the son of Pete, young Sammy. But boys, poor kicking from East Ringwood awards the Saints a goal.
I think that was Matthew Shepherd, actually. Everyone went across to number 4 and congratulated him, mate. I could be wrong, but...
No, I can't. It was Banfield. I watched the replay.
Okay.
Well, mark that down in your Eastern football that Ray was wrong. 26 and a half minutes going into this first term. Ralph goes up. Cleveland got the knockdown that time. Ball hits the deck. Cherney on the bottom of the pack, and we'll have another bounce. Entertaining first quarter. There's absolutely no doubt about that. This has been the scoreline at the end of the game the last few games these two sides have met. So hopefully a goal fest ensues today as Johns tried to trap it. Well done there by Cleveland. He's having a good game. Eventually in the arms now of Hervonen. He's 55 metres out.
Oh,
he sets sail for goal and he puts it straight over the goal umpire's head. What a fantastic answer that was for the East Ringwood Football Club. Well, they're using this win to their advantage. Once they get it forward, they are having a shot from long range and they're putting them through, Frosty.
They are, and someone said before the start of this game it's likely to be a low-scoring affair. But the way it's going at the moment, I mean, really free-flowing. East East Ringwood really taking the game on and trying to run forward. And I mean, that's paying dividends for them at the moment. Marcus Pizzaglia will be really happy with that.
And what they're doing, Pete, they're playing the corridor as well. And interesting, both sides have got a loose man in defence.
So, ball's one down. Great clearance there from Hill. He tries to find a teammate there, but it was a big pack formed. And the ball's just going to be wrapped up in the bottom there. Good strong tackle. Coming over the top there was Cameron Shield. So Taraturi in the ruck now for the Saints, going head-to-head with Cleveland. Tap one down by Cleveland, only as far as Hill.
Oh, great tackle.
Great tackle applied there from Batura. Now East Ringwood can look to form a counter-attack through the centre of the ground and get their hands on the footy. Great pick up there from Devlin. He goes backwards to go forward, finds his teammate here in Batura. Batura goes long down the line. Good strong mark taken there by Kinsella. So Kinsella goes to the top of the goal square. Fenton running out and takes a big strong mark. Great work there from the big fella, Andy Renton. This wouldn't be in his range, I would say, with the breeze going towards the Dandenong Highway end of the ground.
Can't be too much longer left in this term.
Andrew Renton standing at about 19 metres tall. He looks that much bigger than everyone else on the ground.
If he kicks this though, Ben, that's 10 goals for the quarter. Probably a little bit of time, Mick.
So here's Renton as the siren sounds.
You were saying, Ray?
He'll kick from a slight angle from the top of the 50 arc, and that looks pretty nice off the boot. Goal umpire does not move, gives the two-finger salute, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 7-1-43, plays North Ringwood 3-3-21. What a cracking game of football this one's shaping up to be, boys.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Major goal kickers on the ground, 2 to Lee Osborne for East Ringwood. The rest are singles, while Rory Harbeck has 2 goals for the Saints. We'll be back after these messages to talk about what happened in the first term and what's going to happen in the final 90 minutes of Division 1 football at its best today.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I could put together a really cool playlist.
Frank Sinatra.
Elton John.
Beatles.
John
Lennon.
Boy bands. A lot of 90s.
I'd certainly not be opposed to people dancing.
Finger food.
Party pies.
Homemade pickles. I'd like some cakes. There will be fairy bread.
Twinks.
I have a thing for pink lemonade.
And lots of coffee.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique, and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to efl.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local.
My plans for the year, save up for a house so we can build hopefully in November.
Going overseas to Japan.
Recently become a father of a second child.
Finish up baseball season.
Take the kids skiing.
Move into a new house.
Go to the footy a lot.
I am in a tennis tournament in April.
Have a hobby farm. That would be my dream.
The beauty of a fixed price funeral plan is that the price never changes and you can celebrate your life the way you want. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to East Ringwood Recreation Reserve, where it is the Roos off to a cracking start here at quarter time. It's East Ringwood 7-1-43 over North Ringwood 3-3-21. You bad boys, tell us what happened in that first quarter.
Well, East Ringwood are just winning the ball away from the stoppages, and that's where they're getting the ascendancy. I mean, some of their delivery and their field kicking hasn't been great, but it's just been volume of numbers, the amount of times they're able to send the ball inside forward 50, and the results are coming from there. They're taking their chances, they're running the 50, and they're kicking goals from long range out, which, with the wind at their back, they've been able to do. So it's really important now to see how Marcus Pizzaglia restructures kicking into this wind. They need to just try and hit up the short targets, hold the ball up a little bit. They probably can't take the game on as much as they have, Ray. And they need to probably slow it down and maintain a bit of possession to see what they can do.
And what they've got to do, North Ringwood, also is pay a little bit more respect to some of the East Ringwood midfielders. Because Marcius, he's absolutely getting everything out there, yet no one's gone within 10 metres of him at any stoppage. But just the big boy, Dean Cleven, look, he's just dominating those ruck duels, and I think that North Ringwood have got to try and maybe swing Tommy Hill or somebody into the ruck, just somebody who can jump over the top of him, maybe just for half a quarter, and then put him back to centre-half forward.
Well, the thing about the ruck contest, they've got two dominant ruckmen. They've got Renton as well as Cleven in there. They're both experienced, really big ruckmen, and so they've been able to double team guys like Ralph in the ruck there and really work off him and been able to really expose him around the ground a little bit. We've seen Cleven get involved across half-back, become the loose man, dropping off that kick behind play and really take advantage of that. And when Renton takes his spell from the ruck, he goes forward, which is the other thing. That catches Ralph unawares as well. So that's something that they've really worked out really well there, East Ringwood, and been able to expose North Ringwood in the ruck contests.
And, you know, we've spoken about the wind. I personally think that it's probably a 3-goal wind down to the highway end there, but we'll see now. We'll just see what happens in the first 10 minutes. North Ringwood, though, they just can't rely on the wind. They've got to play smart football. They've got to lower their eyes. And I just think they've got to do what East Ringwood did. You've got to play the corridor on this ground.
And take the game on a little bit. Take your chances when they come. Move the ball on quickly. And you can kick goals from 45 to 50 out here today, kicking to that Maroondah Highway into the ground.
You certainly can. BWS, what a cracking start of football.
It's exciting.
This has been.
Really was exciting, Brandon. Really, it just sounds like one of my old Tonka truck fire engines, that siren, doesn't it? With you run it forward and then the wheels just keep spinning until it goes down. That's very old school. What do you reckon, Leroy?
When you say old BWS, you mean you still got it?
Oh yeah, it's in the cupboard, mate. Got to bring it out for the nieces and nephews.
Comes out on special occasions.
Yeah, but it's really for me. But no, looking forward to hearing what the guys down Boundary Side have to say. Here's Max Stankamp.
G'day guys, I'm down here with East Ringwood coach Marcus Pizzaglo. Mark, how do you see that quarter?
Oh, look, it was pleasing. Obviously disappointing to give away 2 fairly easy goals, but for us to kick 6 or 7 in the quarter, we've done that for a while. So yeah, no, I was really happy with that. Yeah.
What's the plan now with going against the wind? Are you going to chuck a few behind the ball, or what's the go there?
Not initially, mate. No, not initially. I think we're winning enough of the footy. We'll certainly have to lower our eyes and slow the game down a little bit. But look, I don't think it's a huge win. I think we'll just play the way we're playing the last quarter and hopefully hold them this quarter.
Perfect. Thanks, mate. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Fantastic stuff there by Max Stankamp down Boundary Side. Will Taylor was across at the North Ringwood huddle, so no doubt we'll hear what Peter Banfield had to say to his troops at quarter time. They currently trail by 22 points. Wilbur, what happened at the huddle?
Yeah, Peter Banfield not happy at all in the North Ringwood camp. He pretty much said tackling was not good enough at all. They only had 21 tackles in that quarter. None of them really sticked at all. They really need to lift their tackling, and he also said that Jack Whelan was the only player in the game in that first quarter, and they need to work a lot harder in the second quarter to really get themselves back into this.
Thanks, Will, and there's in a free kick straight away. It's going to Griffiths. I've got no idea what for.
No idea.
Nonetheless, there was a bit of a punching going on outside the square at centre-half back for North Ringwood.
Well, nonetheless, the ball is in the hands of Ralph. He's about 70 metres out. He'll probably have a shot here, judging by the way he's winding up. But he goes to the top of the square, trying to find Haley. But the ball was brought down. Snap all around the back there from Hardwell. Top of the goal square, and a poor kick rushing there was disappointing from Fenton. I thought young Charlie Haley had taken mark of the century.
Boundary with
there.
the stats.
Now we can go in the hands of Cleven. Umpire's paid another free kick here, and it's going to be a downfield. I've got no idea what it's for. The umpires are blowing whistles left, right, and centre.
Boundary for the free kick.
Let's go Boundary Side now.
Yeah, there was a holding off the ball on the centre-half forward flank there, which is what the free kick was called for, right in front of the umpire.
Thank you, Max. So the free kick's going to go to Charlie Haley, little goal snake.
Looks to be a bit proppy there, Charlie.
He does, and I think the ball's going to go to the hands now of Van Unen. I've got no idea what is going on here. Nonetheless, Van Unen has the ball in a tight angle. right where Joshy Waitman kicked his cracking goal. This will be an absolute cracker if he can kick it.
The wind brings it back, so if you just pop it out in front, it'll swing back in.
Here's Van Unen. Kick looks all right off the boot, but it's drifted to the near side for a behind.
Goal umpire Dave Parker was all over that one there.
It's crossed down boundary side to Will Taylor with the stats that matter at quarter time.
Yeah, thanks to TrueStat Mass Stats, inside forward 50s in that first quarter. East Ringwood 14-9. Clearances, East Ringwood dominated 17-6. And the tap outs 19-12 favour East Ringwood. Free kick out, all even at 4-piece.
So Charlie Haley fell over there, one that he shouldn't have. And he's tried to keep the ball alive. Good work there from Charlie Haley to keep the ball in the North Ringwood forward 50. Bit of bash and crash stuff there from young Charlie. So we'll have a boundary throw in here. 2 minutes gone at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve in the second term. Ralph got front spot, but Cleveland won the tap. Doing a bit of roam work was Cleveland. The ball's pinballing out towards the back of the pack, and coming in over the back, wrapping that one up was David Evans-Marcius. Right on the forward 50 arc paint for the Saints. Tap one down by Ralph there, and he tapped it into his face. Nice little falcon, and Whelan wraps up the East Ringwood boys, loud and centre.
So we'll have a bounce right on the paint of 50. Ralph took it from the stoppage. Needs to get rid of the handball. He did to Fenton this way, that way. Got dispossessed. That was really good play there by Evans-Marcius. Little scrambling kick, but it was picked up by Harbeck. Dumps it on his boot over the top of Hill's head. It'll bounce. It'll bounce. It'll stay alive. No, it won't. It'll go through for a minor score to North Ringwood. 3 minutes into this second term, they move to 3-5-23, 20 points in arrears of East Ringwood, who are kicking straight. 7-1-43 is the grandstand side, is the place to go. And the big man in Renton is the target over the back. Loco created the spoil. Handball came out to Renton, who looked back. That was okay. Evans-Marcius slammed it on his boot up towards the wing position, looking for Balo. Knocked away from him. That was good defensive play by Matty Payne. And over she goes for a boundary throw-in. Right near our boundary riders today, Will Taylor and Max Stankamp. Right in front of the brand new pavilion. It's the Cooper Smith Pavilion. It comes in now. Jack Whelan, he was able to trap it. Strong tackle there by Chris Cherney. He needs to be rewarded for that. Whelan just kept trying and trying, but he had one arm pinged, so he's not too happy either about it, Jack, but he just needs to get on with it. Get the ball back. Can't afford any 25-metre penalties. It comes out. Osborne got the linking handball on the left boot. Helicopter punt all the way through for one behind from outside 50. That was disappointing entry inside the forward arc there for East Ringwood. They'll be disappointed, but they did gain another point lead, and that currently sits at 21 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 7-2-44 to 3-5-23.
So North Ringwood to bring the ball back in from the behind. Ball's in the hands of Tim Jones. He goes short, finds his teammate in Michael Loco right in front of the derail sign. Loco goes long down the wing trying to find a Ralph running back with a flight, but in the end it was a good strong mark taken there by Matty Payne. Payne's at the ball right in front of the scoreboard here at East Ringwood. Payne goes long. Good strong mark there taken by Rory Harbeck. He swings around on his right foot, pressing up with Sam Banfield. Good strong mark from Banners. Banner swings on the left foot, trying to find his teammate here in Hill, and great forward entry there from the Saints. That was great link-up play from the behind, I should say, all set up there by Michael Loco. Now the Saints have an opportunity to kick their fourth goal of the day.
It was great play, Gus. 4 great marks on the lead to North Ringwood there.
So now Tommy Hill. Kick looks all right off the boot. The goal umpire does not move, and Tommy Hill puts the fourth on the board for the Saints. East Ringwood 7-2-44. North Ringwood 4-5-29. 5.5 minutes played at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve.
Yeah, look, it's taken them 5.5 minutes to get that goal, and look, Marcus Bazaglo would be happy so far with the East Ringwood quarter. But there's certainly, you know, the job's not over yet, because as we just saw East Ringwood in the first quarter, bang, 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 and you hit the scoreboard, you're back in the game.
I don't think Marcus would be happy at all, just to be devil's advocate. It's been in the forward line for North Ringwood the whole way, and that was play of the day so far. Going after it, Jack Whelan hits the deck in a strong tackle.
Well, at quarter time, we heard Marcus go say how they wanted to hold the ball up and lower their eyes. That's something they haven't done yet this quarter, and at North Ringwood have actually made them pay now.
Well, charging through Osborne, he's having some sort of a gain. I love the way he attacks the football, but he had a fresh hair shot, and he's gonski. So a free kick will go the way. Well, thought it was going to go to Sharp, but he gives it to his skipper in Whelan, who switches the ball out wide, looking for his brother in Sam. Big fly over the back. Couldn't quite pull it down on the first attempt. Goes after it again. Well done there by Eckers. Got the handball back. Here's Batera on the right boot. Squeezed it up to Cleveland. Gave the handball to Osborne. Put him under a lot of in a lot of trouble. He almost should have got pinged for that one. Whelan goes after it again. They are very lucky to be still at even Stevens on the wing position here, East Ringwood. Just probably rushing it a little bit too much there as the umpire throws it up. Ralph versus Cleveland. Ralph got the knockdown straight into the arms there of Osborne. Flicked it over the back. That was okay. Powell just bangs it on his boot. Kicks it up towards centre half forward. Loco was at the back. Nicely done there by Balo. Good use of the body. Spills out now to Waitman. Little in and under handball. They need to go backwards to go forwards. Here's Balo on the right boot. Have a look at this one go. It travelled a long, long way, but it just didn't have the carry in the end, and it'll be the Saints now through Johns up towards the half back line. Just trying to almost trap it with the one hand there was Sam Banfield. Almost got legged as well. Umpire said play on, probably a little bit stiff. Beautiful little flick there from Farmer to keep the ball alive for the Roos. Got it to Cleveland, who got it back to Farmer. He'll hug the boundary line here, and a strong mark has been taken there. Out wide by Dylan Balo, gives the handball away. He put his teammate in Farmer under a fair bit of pressure. He slipped at the crucial stage, and it's Sammy Whelan who's on top of him, and we will have another bounce.
Unlucky not to get a free kick then. He got collected high as he went to ground, but umpire blindsided the contest and wasn't able to see it.
So Taratura and Cleveland. Cleveland wins the tap down, but there's a few Saints jumpers there. Putting his head over the footy was Wheeler. Tap forward there from Shield, but East Ringwood now can rebound. Joshy Waitman there, handballs back to Serlo. Cerny, but another great clearance there from North Ringwood, trying to find a teammate. Good strong hit up mark has been taken there by Rory Harbeck. Just got to be cleaner inside the middle third of the ground, do the Roos. But now Rory Harbeck's probably going to have to kick this one from the top of the square, BWS. And this will certainly test him, but with the wind going towards the mountain highway end, he might have the journey.
Distance won't be a problem.
Here's Rory Harbeck from 55 metres out. The kick looks right off the boot, but it's just drifted to the right-hand side. So now it's East Ringwood 7-2-44, North Ringwood 4-6-30. We've played 9 minutes here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve.
So James Balo to bring the ball back in. Plays it to himself, kicks it out towards the Cleveland direction. The big man had to fly. Farmer got his handle on it. Running over was Darcy Price and seeing it over the boundary line out of bounds. A few little screams for on the full, coming off above the knee. High to bring the ball back in. So Tarachua versus Cleveland. Cleveland had the front spot. He palmed it down with a double fist. In and under there was Fenton. He couldn't release the pill, and the umpire will come in and bounce it once again. 98.1 Radio Eastern today. Streaming live around the globe, EFL.org.au. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Division 1 football at its best. Standalone game, Division 1 today. And for the league, we're spoilt to be able to call 2 games on a weekend. Getting ready for the finals.
Sun's out too here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve.
Gus has got the sunnies on. Great to have Gus on the broadcast team today. His red jacket's off and his black one's on.
Happy to make the switch as Taratua wins a tap down only as far as an opposition teammate here, but the ball's trying to rebound out now. East Ringwood go long down the wing, trying to find a mark, but I think it's going to trickle across the boundary line. That one is now Michael Loco. Is going to be awarded a free kick for out of bounds on the full right in front of Banfield's coaching box. So Michael Loco, not a lot of options building for him. He's going to go for the switch. No, he's not. He's going to go long down the line, trying to find Taratua. Great spoil there from Cleveland as Whelan tries to track the ball on the boundary line. That he can't. It trickles across for a boundary throw-in.
I'm very impressed with the work of Clever, not only in his ruck work, but just the little things he does in the Shepherds, the little knockaways. He makes it so much easier for his on-ballers.
Very experienced player, former premiership player at Mulgrave, been around the EFL for a long, long time, knows his craft very well, Dean Cleven.
So Cleven wins a tap down, but Charlie Huddy swing tackled there by Joshy Waitman.
just on Cleven, boys. He's the only player in the EFL he gets a brand new pair of footy boots and at the end of the season can still sell them brand new because he hasn't kicked the ball.
So Cleven wins a tap down to Cerny. East Ringer looking to go forward. Paul kicks a bit of a grubber. Charlie Hill. And the ball's just going to trickle towards the boundary line. Dived on top of there was Wood. The umpire a bit slow to blow his whistle, but in the end, Michael Loco will trickle the ball across the boundary line. Right in front of Peter Banfield's coaching box once again. There'll be Cleveland and Taratura to do battle here.
So East Ringwood looking for their first goal of the term. Only had one so far, a couple of behinds. Going forward now for them. Eckers fell over at the crucial stage. Osborne's in there as well, and guess who? Jack Whelan at the bottom of the pack.
I think what East Ringwood are going to try and do is open up their forward line a little bit because it's very crowded down there.
Little knock away. Fenton came in and, geez, he copped an elbow to the face there. But he's straight up. Little Warrior gets the handball away. So the Saints looking to use the far side out here of the ground. The switch went on. The wind held that ball up. Loco went after it, diving on top of his opponent. And a number 58, a change of jumper. I think that might be Balo. I'll get the boundary riders to confirm that for East Ringwood as it comes out now. Evans Marcius came out. Well done, Pete. I heard ya. Thanks for the echo. Kinsella sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I think his jumper might have had a case of leather, Paul. He thinks he had to take it off.
Something like that as it comes out now. Strong tackle there by Griffiths, and Osborne sees it over the boundary line and out. 13 minutes gone. It's a 14-point margin. 44 plays 30. Sunny's out. And it's freezing. Ray looks like a little Eskimo. It's quite cute, actually. As the umpire brings the ball back into play, Taratua. Well, it just got held up in the breeze then, so it'll be the chance for the Saints to handball through the middle, but Farmer has something to say about that for East Ringwood. From inside the square, he goes a long, long way and he hits the pine. 3/4 of the way up, I tell you what. Who said the breeze is going the other way? Christ. It just went through for a behind, almost an absolute pearler that
I think that kick would have gone straight to the roof of the Carrickaloika Centre out the back. It had that much wind on it. But nonetheless, North Ringwood will rebound out of the half-back line. Taratura, don't know how he marked that. Sorry, in the end, it was Matty Payne. He's been good off the half-back flank for the Saints. In a bit of toss and bubble here, and he goes long down the line trying to find a teammate. But there's two Roos who fly up, and one of them was Eckers. What's the umpire doing here? He's paying a free kick for pushing out. Bad luck there to Batira. And I think he's going to pay a 50-metre penalty. That's just silly football from the Roos. Bazagla will be furious about that one.
The free kick was for shepherding in the marking contest, and then obviously he kicked the ball thinking, not realising that's what's happened, and 15-metre penalty paid.
25.
You just completely
which is about
ignore the
35
umpire.
as well.
So now I think they'll pop it towards the top of the square, trying to find Tommy Hill, but that's an absolute shocking kick. I reckon Ray Baird could have had a better shoot than that one. And in the end, the ball triggers across the boundary line for a on the full, I think it is. And it's in the hands now of Darcy Hubbard right in front of the Tobin Brothers Funeral sign. Tobin Brothers Funeral celebrating lives, great sponsor.
Ray was a good player back in his day.
So he says.
Taratura, big fly over the back. Good strong mark from Maxi Taratura, the big ruckman. I reckon this one could be in range for him, but he might just go over the top of the goal square option. That he does. Who's going to fly out the back? Tommy Hill couldn't quite get his hands on it. Ball's trickling in the way. Great forward pressure there from the Smalls, Darcy Payne. The ball rolls across the boundary line on the 50-metre arc for the Saints.
It's a good spoil there by Matty Shepherd, the smallest man in that contest, to come over the back and force the spoil. A certain East Ringwood mark, 50 metres out from goal, down the Saints' end. They lead this game by 15 points. 15.5 minutes gone in the second term. Be Harbeck going up against Cleveland that time. Whelan just made sure he owned it in the end, got it away to Sharp. Little snap around the body, went straight down the throat there of Shepherd, who managed to trap it. He'll kick it to the hot spot, top of the square, over the top there of Tommy Hill's head. It trickles, and it trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds. 25 metres out from goal. 7:3:45 to 4:6:30. Big crowd out here at East Ringwood. Not a car park in sight. They're lined up on the mountain highway outside as well. Great facilities. Ball hits the deck. Griffiths and Balo in the contest. Hands it back to the umpire. So can we get a breakout from here as it comes out? Cleveland got the little knockout wide. That was good play. Here's James Balo now. His kick was smothered though, so it still stays inside that forward arc for North Ringwood. Expect the umpire to come in and bounce this one, as Balo will hand it back to the umpire about 40 metres out from goal. Cleveland and Ralph, no one got the clear knockout that time. Well done there by Osborne, quickly trapped there by Whelan. They got it away. East Ringwood, they're linking up. Little handball over the top. It was dangerous, but Havonen was there. Oh, going in hard there was Shepherd, almost a tunnelling free kick. Whelan goes after it, dived into his opponent. The umpire was unbecoming with a free kick, and we'll have another bounce 45 metres out from the North Ringwood goals. There's a lot of players around this football. Can the Saints conjure something from here? No, they can't, because Cleveland gets the knockdown straight into the arms there of James Balo, who kicks it along the boundary line out towards centre wing position where Devlin sees it over. Let's cross down boundary side to Will Taylor with some stats that matter, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, the clearances, East Ringwood dominating at 10-4 in the clearances. Tap out still East Ringwood's favourite 13-9, and the inside forward 50s 5 apiece. And the free kick count, North Ringwood 4-1.
Tap one down there by Cleveland. The ball's just going to pinball around. I've heard a whistle here. I'm not sure what for. I think the umpire's just going to ball it up. So Ralph and Cleveland do battle in the ruck. Ralphie wins that tap down, trying to find Banfield. Jones wicks the footy up there, and he's just being dispossessed. Well done to Johns. Now he's found Banfield. Banfield one bounce, goes inbound, finds Shepherd. Shepherd back to Banfield. Banfield to the top of the square. The umpire looks like he's not going to move very much. Sammy Banfield kicks an absolute cracker. Vibro Jim goal a day contender from Sam Banfield. What great link-up play that was from Shepherd and Sammy Banfield. He puts his second on the board for the Saints. East Ringwood 7-3, 46. North Ringwood 5-6. 36, and they're coming, Ray Baird.
Yeah, they're just edging their way. They're not doing it in a hurry, but they're just edging their way back into this game. And look, has anybody noticed any difference in the umpiring today? Because if you notice, we've got 3 umpires out there with the standalone game.
There you go. Ray Baird with the stats that matter.
Ball back in the middle. What can East Ringwood do now? They hold on to a 9-point lead. They go forward. Coming in from the side and almost pulling it in was Powell. He goes after it again. In there was Eckers also. He hits the deck. And we will have a bounce. See. Umpire throws it up once more. Balo was there. Loco also over the boundary line and out of bounds. Need to get a goal out of this stoppage. East Ringwood, it's important. Haven't kicked a goal yet this term, and we're almost into time on. 7-goal opening quarter for them. Renton got the knockdown, but to no avail. The Saints were running, but it was nicely chopped off there by Waitman. It eventually comes out to Cherney, who might want to have a ping here, but went for the safer option. The kick goes up towards the top of the goal square. A big flying pack in shoes. Well done there by Ralph, the big man, who got the handball away. And now here's Jimmy Dean, who has a bounce. Races out wide. He might have a second. Crosses that Bendigo Bank scoreboard area this way, that way. Swings back in on the right boot. He was clever in the end. Sam Banfield takes the mark. Kick the last goal. Very exciting one as well. He'll wind around on that familiar left and kick it up towards the half-forward line where Tommy Hill came out. He almost took it on his chest. Going in hard there was Chadwick. He forced the spoil over the top there. Renton was in there as well. Handball out wide. Banfield went after it but claimed the tackle. A strong one there for North Ringwood. Umpire's going to reward him as well, which maybe he's a little bit stiff, and eventually advantage paid is given it. It goes towards the Haley direction. It was knocked away from him. They're inside the arc here, North Ringwood, squeezing a kick out, James Balo. He might hit up the target there in Chadwick, but a little Donaki from Jack Whelan went bang inside forward 50, but nobody was home. Delaney, the last line of defence, takes the safe mark for East Ringwood, and they'll be able to get the ball out of that danger zone where Renton takes it across centre half back. He's got options left, right and centre. He eventually decides to go right, which is a risky one too because it does hold up in the breeze, but a strong mark's been taken there by Owen Chadwick over Jack Whelan.
So now the Roos can look to build to something towards a goal. 21 minutes played at East Ringwood. Terrible kick straight into the hands of Banfield. Banfield's going to look to slow the play down.
He's having a good game.
I'll tell you what, Banfield's come into the play in this last 10 minutes of this quarter.
That he has. Long surging kick. Good spoil over the back there from Eckers. Snap around the corner. Looks quite good off the boat. And North Ringwood just keeping on. What a cracking finish that one was. Great goal from Darcy Price. He puts his first on the board for the Saints. And I tell you what, boys, East Ringwood, they need a response and they need one quick.
It's a 4-on-1 situation going into the 50 there, and East Ringwood should have been able to talk and been able to ruffle that one and get it out of the danger zone. The spoil, front and centre, well done by Price to kick that goal.
I think I go back a little bit further. Renton had the ball at centre half back, and I think he went the wrong option going the other side. He had players free on this side.
So, once again, Renton in the ruck. He got the front, he got the knockdown. Cherney just goes bang on the right boot, off the ground as well, if you don't mind. Travelled every bit of 40 metres, couldn't quite trap it there. Was Bishop, but he went after it again. Brought Cameron Shield down in a strong tackle, and we'll have a bounce at true centre half forward for East Ringwood. What a cracker we're seeing out here. 7-3-45, the Roos, the Saints 6-6-42. It's a 3-point ball game. Cherney from the stoppage goes after it, brought straight to ground, eventually released it. That was good play. Well done by Big Ralph. Got the handball away. Sam Whelan this time dispossessed. Almost could have got pinged. Loco went in sharp, got dispossessed also. Cherney threw his head back. Umpire was unbecoming in a free kick there. Powell goes after it. A lot of strong tackling from both sides there. A lot of desperation, and we'll have a bounce about 35 metres out from the Roos goal line.
So Taratua into the ruck now, and Ralphie's gone forward. Diving on the ball there was Sterney. Over the top, out of mid-air! Oh, and that one just missed. Great effort there from Powell. He puts a point on the board. Second score for East Ringwood this quarter. 7-4-46, North Ringwood 6-6-42. The Ringwood rivalry between East and North. Always a cracker here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. And kicking the ball back in will be Anthony Sharp. I think it's Jack Whelan actually. So Whelan to kick the ball back in. Kicks to himself, looks to play on, comes broadcast side, trying to find a teammate there in Whelan. But Heath Decker provided a good option, a bit of a platform for a big spoil to come over the back there from number 12, which is Lee Osborne.
Sam Whelan taking off the long sleeves at quarter time.
Very wide in, recognising. So boundary umpire throws in. Good tap one down there by Renton. Straight into the path of Joshy Waitman. And a bit of attention now going into Griffiths.
Sam Whelan's in a bit of trouble here. We might, he might come off. We'll get the boundary riders just to keep an eye on him. He's very proppy. Pye throws it up now. Cherney, he's having a lot of the football, doing well. Got it away to Waitman. Handball went further afield to Osborne. Uagonski, Osborne. Fantastic tackle that time by Mark Griffiths.
Game really starting to heat up, BWS.
And it's always fun when it's on the grandstand side. We've seen a fair bit of it today as well, which is pretty exciting.
Griffiths and Osborne have been going at each other since the very first bounce.
Well, he let himself down there, and Osborne smothered it, almost quickly trapped it. He'll get the handball received that time from Eckers. Osborne looping handball over the top. Balo got it. That was okay. Here's Devlin. Handball inside. They're under a lot of pressure. Taratua, well, he was in there, the big man, but quickly wrapped up by Devlin, and we'll have a bounce 55 metres out from goal. Let's cross down to Max Stankamp.
Yeah, Sammy Whelan's just come off, limping, favouring his left leg. I'm not sure what exactly is wrong with it, but Tommy Hill also came off a few minutes ago, looking a bit proppy as well. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, don't be shy. Head over there and suss it all out as Sharp got the handball back, and now the Saints will go towards the Jones direction. Nicely spoiled there by James Balo over the boundary line and out of bounds. Sammy Whelan almost getting another touch there in the dugout.
So ball right in front of Peter Banfield's coaching box with plenty going on down there. Taratura and Fenton to do rough battle again. Fenton running to tap down. Great work there from Cerny, weaving and diving. Ball's come out of the back now to Bello. Bello was tackled. Big tackle over the back there from Shepherd. The ball goes to the hot spot for North Ringwood. Oh, and Michael Loco should have been awarded the mark there, but wasn't. The one-handed grab of the ball up. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle for the Roos. Bench looking a bit. Umpire's blown a whistle here. I'm not sure what for. I don't even think the umpire knows what for. Nonetheless, we're going to ball it up. So Renton wins a tap down straight into the lap of Powell. Another ball up once again. Same spot, 45-degree angle, 40 metres out for the Roos. Fenton, nice little tap into space, only as far as Hill. Dropping the ball out of the back there now, Cerny. Cerny swings on the left foot. Which way will it bounce? Straight into the palms. And a great tackle there from Payne. And East Ringwood look to clear the ball out of the back line from Whelan. Trying to keep the ball
Well
alive
done,
with Joshy
Ralph.
Ralph. Big crunching tackle on Jaden Van Unen. Umpire, what's he going to say? He's going to say, I'll ball it up. Why, great work there from Joshy Ralph. But even better work coming over the back was Mitch Farmer with the big tackle. So Taratura and Renton. Renton wins a tap down to Cerny. Cerny's been lively, but so has Charlie Haley. And as well as Jack Whelan in the bottom of the pack, like he always is. Right in front of the North Ringwood coaching box, the new grandstand here. Renton wins a tap down in the space for Waitman. What can Waitman do? We have a whistle for holding, and it's going the way. And it's going to go the way of Joshua Waitman. So Waitman goes to top spot, and a good mark coming across the back. Good strong hands there from Danny Wood. Wood switches to find his teammate Aaron Sharp. Sharp takes the mark right in front of the cricket nets here at East Ringwood Reserve. Not many options presenting, so he looks to slow it down. Nice little kick trying to find Hill.
Good hit.
That they does. Wheels around to the right foot to go long down the line, trying to find a teammate there in Harbeck, and the ball's been turned over. Good strong mark taken there. So East Ringwood looking to switch now, and the ball's in the hands of Connor Devlin. Puts the footy up in the air.
Cross down boundary side to Max Stankamp.
Yeah, both blokes down here are fine. Sammy Williams had his foot stood on, and Tommy Hill's copped a knock to the nether regions, but both will be out there shortly.
There you go, great work here from there, Maxie. As a big strong mark has been taken there. East Ringwood looking to surge into the forward line and try and get their first goal of the term. With entries like that, they're not going to do so. Ball's in the lap now of Harbeck, and Harbeck just takes the ball across the boundary line. And he's paid deliberate. Is that even a rule in the Eastern Suburbs?
Yes, it is. Certainly is a rule.
Well, it is a rule now, and deliberate.
Can't be too long left.
Last time
almost need to have a shot here.
Nearly impossible to kick goals from this pocket with the wind blowing the way it is this afternoon. This would have to be a miraculous kick.
So for East Ringwood's first goal of the turn, this will test him. He's going to kick from 50 right on the boundary line. Looks to go towards the top of the square, and it's just going to trigger. And a good mark has been taken, but unfortunately, it's gone out of bounds on the full, and the ball's in the hand of Joshy Ralph.
So the big man Ralph takes off, wants to just dump it out of that danger zone. He goes towards the Van Unen direction, who used his body beautifully, took the mark. The handball didn't stick though, so it comes in the arms there of Devlin. Little knock over the top. There's still two kicks from home here, the Roos. Kick it to the hot spot where Balo was there. Couldn't quite pull it down. Fenton was able to mop up for the Saints though, this way, that way, on the right boot. Squeezed to kick out, but it was an absolute shocker. He turned it over. This time it's James Balo. James Balo set sail for goal from 50 metres out. He's pushed it, and he's pushed it wide again. It goes out of bounds on the full. As the siren sounds to announce half-time out here, a great quarter of football by the North Ringwood Football Club, able to keep East Ringwood goalless in that term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at half-time reads 7-4-46, a 4-point lead to the home side. North Ringwood 6-6-42. The major goal kickers on the ground. Lee Osborne has 2 for East Ringwood, while for North Ringwood, Harbeck and Bountfield 2 apiece. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. An entertaining first half. It can only shape up for what is going to be an absolute cracker after we come back from these messages and talk about that first half and those important last 2 quarters with Wayne Brasher and the gang right after this.
Friends, just great people with big hearts.
I met him in kindergarten.
We both keep each other grounded.
He's in the Defence Force.
4 best friends, actually. They're like my sisters.
She's really caring and funny.
He runs amok every weekend, so I haven't seen him that much because I'm married.
We've always just clicked.
My best friend lives in the country.
She's the best.
When celebrating a loved one's life, don't leave it to just anyone to organise. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss EFL Sunday. From 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, the EFL media team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders, following a big round of EFL footy. The gang talk to the biggest names from across the league each and every week. EFL Sunday, from 10 every Sunday morning on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
Probably amongst my friends, I'm known for my sense of humour.
So people know me for my laid-back attitude.
I work too much and I play too much sport and I'm a fantastic mum.
My striking good looks.
I can sing.
Do a lot of running and swimming and surfing.
My karaoke.
Getting overly passionate about sport.
I try to be there for everyone. I think that's what I would be known for in my group.
Be remembered for the great moments in your life. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's half-time here on the EFL Game Day, and it's North Ringwood 6-6-42, trailing East Ringwood 7-4-46, and it's been an entertaining game without setting the world on fire. Both sides have missed opportunities, I feel, in the first half to take control of the contest, but nonetheless, it's a 4-point lead to East Ringwood. Joining me for half-time, Will Taylor. What are your thoughts so far on what you've seen so far?
Look, I guess it's a battle of two halves, really. East Ringwood dominate the first quarter, and I thought they probably would have gone on and lead by a lot more at quarter time. And then North Ringwood, exactly so. I thought they'd dominate the second quarter, and I thought they probably should have been in front after the way they played. But I guess the scoreline really is indicative of how the first half panned out.
Max Stancap joining us also. Max, what did you feel about North Ringwood? Did you feel that they didn't take the game on as much with the win like East Ringwood did in the first quarter?
Methodical going through the middle of the ground, and they certainly didn't bust the quarter open like East Ringwood did in the first. But that said, they did need to slow it down and try and make sure they avoided the stoppages, because they were getting absolutely punished at stoppages. So I think they played it smart for what they needed to do that quarter. But I still feel that if East Ringwood get a run on this quarter with the wind, they could blow the game out of the water.
And quickly, we have the forefather of one of our team, and it's a very warm welcome to Les Ferguson from the East Ringwood Footy Club. Hello, Les. How are you? And welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Wayne, very much.
Love to be here. Yeah. What are your thoughts so far in the first half?
Well, I thought the first quarter we ruled it, really took it away from North, but second quarter they've come back and done a great job to get within 4 points.
Les, it's been a bit of a difficult year for East Ringwood, which you and I have spoken off air many times. Are you happy with the way the club's progressing?
It's all forward, Wayne. We've had a couple of bad seasons, but it's going to change. You can see our new club rooms, the Cooper Smith Pavilion.
Yep.
It's really going to make a big difference to our income in the next couple of years.
And Les, you've been around this club for such a long time, and also part of the Radio Eastern 98.1, and you were part of one of the original members of what we now know of Radio Eastern and EFL football. Are you happy with the way that everything's progressed in that sphere?
It's gone further and further than I ever thought it would.
Good.
With that bloke sitting next to you, that magnificent mechanic,
yes,
as I call him, the changes to the technical side of things here now is just unbelievable. When you look along and you see the cameras and the new apparatus that runs the whole show, it's unbelievable, Wayne.
Well, Les, once again, look, it's always a pleasure when we come to town down here at East Ringwood. It's always good to have you on for a few minutes at any time and give us a rundown on what happened, on everything that happens at East Ringwood and whatever is happening outside of East Ringwood. You're a loved man in this community, and you do a sterling job on Radio Eastern 98.1 with those dulcet tones of yours.
Wayne, it's going to be a very interesting year this year. Vermont's undefeated,
yes,
but I wouldn't put it past the other three. I liked South Croydon last week. I thought they looked very, very good.
Yep.
But it's going to be a great final series.
Well, Les, once again, thank you very much for joining us on at halftime on EFL Game Day, and we look forward to hearing your dulcet tones again very, very soon.
Wednesday afternoon, 4 till 7.
Thank you very much. Les Ferguson there, East Ringwood legend, stalwart, and Radio Eastern 98.1 presenter. Will, two players, I reckon, for North Ringwood have got to try and find a way to get into the game is Tommy Hill and Jaden Van Noonan. Not getting enough value out of them so far. I think Hill's only touched the ball maybe twice without having an impact. I just watched him come off the ground there just before half-time. He looked a little bit iffy to me. Did you sense that?
Yeah, I think I was surprised the way he played it. It seems like he was a little bit, I guess, invisible. I don't know if Matt saw exactly what I saw, but I thought I guess he was a little bit proppy throughout that whole second quarter, which really made me worried how he was going in that second quarter. But the rest of his teammates really did well. And in regards to Jaden Van Noonan, I actually did hear him. I didn't see him at all throughout the call of that game in that first half. But I know Mats was saying that Tommy Hill is got to be okay. I think was coming off a bit of an injury.
Yeah. He got a knock to the nether regions. I'm not sure at what point that was, but he did come off. He was grimacing. He didn't look like he was enjoying himself, as one never does when you cop a knock to that area. But Tommy Hill's also been matched up with Owen Chadwick.
Yeah, he's done a fair job on him, hasn't he?
He's done a very good job, especially for a guy undersized against Hill. And Chadwick's also been running off him, which has been damaging. In that not only has Tommy Hill not had much of an impact, but his man has, had a big say on what's been happening so far today.
Absolutely.
The two big men from East Ringwood, I feel like have clearly won the points in the first half, especially Dean Cleveland and to a lesser extent Andrew Renton. I think Cleveland's done a fantastic job around the ground. He's a real craftsman, isn't he, Will?
Absolutely right. And just talking about how important those two players have been. The tap-out stat in this game so far, 42-24 in favour of East Ringwood, and it's given so many opportunities for East Ringwood throughout the game. Or of course, especially the clearances, which East Ringwood has been fairly in front of throughout the whole first half.
Some good plays for North Ringwood, I thought, in the first half. I thought the last 20 minutes of the second quarter, I thought Sam Banfield was starting to work into the game. I think Jack Whelan's done a lot of hard work in and under off the ball to try and create opportunities. And I think Jimmy Dean and Rory Harbeck down forwards trying to provide an option down there, whilst Hill's not getting not being able to have any influence on the game.
Yeah, Rory Hardbeck's pretty much carried their forward line so far today, I thought.
Would you think, though, in the balance of things, do you feel that both sides have really squandered opportunities going into the forward line? Because I have to admit that the hand and foot skills has left a lot to be desired for both sides in this first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like you saw it with East Ringwood going forward this quarter. They didn't have the advantage of the wind, and the lack of precision really hurt them. And it became really obvious that they were lacking just that polished finish. And North Ringwood haven't quite been as bad, I thought, because they've been a bit slower, a bit more deliberate in how they have gone forward. But there have just been moments where you sort of put your head in your hands as, it's basically kick to kick between teams, up and down the wings. And it will basically come down to which side makes less errors.
Gets to a point, doesn't it, that we're down the boundary, Matt, and I'm getting the feeling by the supporters that they're getting a bit frustrated that both teams are not taking control of the game the way they actually expected their teams to go about it in that first half.
Yeah, well, I think you might be right there, Will, because I standing from up here, I think it's more a sense of frustration in the fact that both sides are working hard enough to get the ball, but within a twinkling of an eye, they're turning the ball over. They're turning the ball over with the next possession going to the opposition, and all the hard work that they're doing, that they're working, especially both sides are working really hard in their back 50 to try and, get the ball out, as well as the forwards for both sides. But the thing is, it's that next kick that's going out. They're not hitting a target.
Yeah.
Or when they do get a turnover and they get the ball, all of a sudden they've got open areas, but they still can't hit a target. And I think that's probably the thing that's frustrating the supporters, because at this level, players should be able to hit a bloke on the chest or kick the ball to position on a one-on-one, especially if the guy has some sort of advantage. Another danger play, I reckon, for East Ringwood. Just a little bit worried that he's got very good skills, is Lee Osborne. I just think at times, I just thought in that quarter that East Ringwood might have been a little bit Osborne-centric.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, and a perfect example was it was down here late in the second quarter that he got pinned for holding the ball, and I think it was more of, hopefully he's got to do something to get them into their forward 50, which they bombed it too many times in that second quarter.
No, absolutely. It was an absolute nightmare watching them go forward, which will be interesting seeing they've now got the breeze and we'll get more forward 50 entries. One player I'm really keeping an eye out for this quarter is Michael Loco for North Ringwood. He was huge in that first quarter and didn't see a huge amount of action in the last quarter. And I, really think that he could be a big part of this quarter for North Ringwood. Finally,
gentlemen, Max, how do you see the game panning out? Does North Ringwood get the victory, or does East Ringwood hold on and get a much-needed one this afternoon?
Look, it's hard to say. I think I'm still going to keep with my original tip of North this afternoon. But if East Ringwood, make the most of their forward 50 entries, then through sheer weight of numbers of the amount of clearances they're winning, they should get over the line. But I still think North Ringwood just have that little bit more class.
Will, what do you reckon?
I think North Ringwood have more upside than East Ringwood does. They've got more improvement to go by. The stats really show that they were completely outclassed in that first half. And I think North Ringwood got a bit of work to do, but I think they'll get the job done.
Yeah, it's going to be a big quarter for North Ringwood. They're going to have to hold here, try and restrict East Ringwood to maybe 2 or 3 goals with the breeze, and hopefully come home with it themselves. Crucial third quarter here. I think the game could be won in this quarter. I'm going to still stick with North Ringwood. I think Hill and Haley and Harbeck have still got a bit more to give, and I expect them, North Ringwood to get the points in a close encounter. Well, lady, that's half-time here on EFL Game Day. It's East Ringwood 7-4-46, leading North Ringwood 6-6-42, and both sides are back out on the ground, and coming back after the break, it'll be the call team to bring you the second half on Radio Eastern 98.1.
Go Zebras! Can the Dockers!
Can the Eagles!
Up the Bulls!
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to East Ringwood, the big Division 1 clash today between the East Ringwood Roos and the North Ringwood Saints. It's an absolute belter out here already at half-time. 7-4-46 East Ringwood lead by 4 points over North Ringwood 6-6-42. All players out on the ground now. Just waiting for the second half to take shape. Well done to Wayne Brasher, Will Taylor and Max Stankamp at half-time. As the siren sounds to announce the second half, here is Gus McLeod.
Thank you, BWS. Ralph and everyone in the ruck. Tap one down there from Cleveland. Great clearance there from Whelan. Whelan goes long trying to find a teammate there. Good strong mark taken by Rory Harbeck. Plays on, reels onto the right foot. What a cracking start this would be for Harbeck. But unfortunately, the ball drifts out of bounds on the full.
Just not every single kick from that far side is just getting
Drifting
pushed
right
right
across.
across the face of goal, isn't it?
You'd think they might start adjusting now with the wind, but we are only human. So the ball in the hands now of Joshy Waitman. Waitman, not many options presenting for him. So he goes long down the line trying to find Cleveland, but Ralph got best position, worked him under the contest. Good entrance there from Fenton. Fenton goes long, trying to find Hill! And a great mark has been taken by Jaden Van Unen.
It happened to me in the interleague game, mate. I think Hill's off the ground. He might be struggling to come back on in this second half. So there might not be too much confusion going forward.
Thank God for the screen there. Tommy Hill will be furious I confused his big pipes for Jaden Van Unen. Nonetheless, here's Jaden Van Unen. Not the best kick from Van Unen. It drifts across to the far side. First score of the quarter here. It's East Ringwood 7-4-46 to North Ringwood 6-7-43. We've played 1.5 minutes here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. Ben Warren Smith.
So East Ringwood to bring the ball back in. Big thumping kick into the middle of the ground, looking for Renton. Decker had the fly at the back for North Ringwood, got a timely fist on that one, but a kick out of the pack bounces up towards the half-forward line. It's Loco, the first one for the Saints to trap the football. Got it away. Here's Jones, this way, that way. Goes back to Decker. He'll swing around on the left boot, kick it up towards the wing position. The ball did carry, but it carried a little bit too far, and Evans Marcius takes it in the middle of the ground, but it's stolen that time there by Fenton. He takes off to the races, kicks the ball in towards the Van Unen direction. Well, he had the back spot there. Well done by James Balow. He kept his eyes on the football, forced the spoil, and over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Boys, interesting, Jaden Van Unen hasn't spent any time in the midfield this game so far. They're using him as a prime forward suspect, so see how that one plays out.
Umpire brings it in. Harbeck probably got that knock from the back. Straight into the arms there of Charlie Haley. Umpire said play on. Haley got the handball away. Harbeck was pinned nicely by Cleveland, and the umpire says, you dropped the ball, Rory, and it'll be a free kick to the big man, Dean Cleveland, just inside the defensive arc for East Ringwood. Had some support, Journey on the right boot up towards the wing position. Ball just stays alive and over the boundary line and out of bounds. 3 minutes into this second half. We're missing a special comments man. Sausage roll plate must still be out.
And it's not me this time either.
If they were free, you'd be there, Ray.
Cleveland knocked it down. Cherney got the handball away. Here was Haley, trapped it. The big man just crunched him in a tackle, and he's going to be rewarded as well. First opportunity, if it's not been taken today, I'm enjoying this by the umpires paying the holding the ball free kicks, and they're being consistent about it as well, Gus.
So Cerny now been asked to move on by the umpires, that he does. Long to centre half forward. Loco running back with the flight and takes a good strong mark. The umpire hasn't paid it, and he's been coming in with a big crunching tackle over the top there from Dylan Bellow.
Not sure if Loco's wearing that for head protection or to keep his ears warm today. It's bloody freezing out there.
So Cleveland and Ralph to do battle on the ruck. Comes down to Cleveland. Joshy Ralph trying to bust through the pack, and a big crunching tackle over the top there from David Evan Marcius. Joshy Ralph probably needs to step up of North Ringwood want to make a big charge in this quarter. Speaking of, the tap's been one down, boys. Opposition ruckman in Cleveland. But North Ringwood are off to the races now. The kick was poor. Trying to keep the ball alive there. Well done from Harbeck. They've just gained a bit of yardage there, have the Saints. Right in front of the interchange gates here, broadcast side.
It's crossed down boundary side to Will Taylor. There's something wrong with your mic, Will. You might need to change the batteries. We'll come back to you at a later stage. Or I think we can go for take two here. Will Taylor down boundary side with Max Stankamp.
Yeah, the North Ringwood doing a lot better inside forward 50s and in the stats so far. In first half, East Ringwood 29-18. Clearance is 33-15 for East Ringwood, and the tap outs are doing a lot better, 42-24.
Ball's been thrown in, little handball. Evans Marcius got it away. Cleveland somehow got boot to ball. The big man didn't travel too far. Decker hit the deck. No pun intended, as the umpire will come in and bounce it once more.
Won't be able to sell those boots now. He's just got a kick.
I know, they're used now, those boots. He actually got a kick.
Harsh comments from the cheap seats. As it comes up now. Cherney, what a game he's having. Just gave the don't argue, brushed away, kicks it into Renton out in front. The big man
Great
takes
play
the
by
mark.
Cherney. Great play. Use his strengths to break from the stoppage and hit Renton.
Yeah, beautiful use of the football too. And a huge chance now for East Ringwood to kick their first goal since the first quarter. So they went goalless in that second term. They currently lead by 3 points. This will stretch it to 9. Renton has 1. He'll start it out left and he'll work it back beautifully. That is how you use the breeze out here at East Ringwood. And they kick their 8th goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard and they stretch their lead to 9 points. Renton has 2. We'll cross down boundary side to Max Stankamp as the Roos lead this one by 9 points.
It's really interesting that North Ringwood have decided not to go with a loose man back this quarter. I would have thought they'd thrown 1 or 2 behind the ball, but it looks like they're content to actually trust their forwards and just try and kick goals this quarter.
Yeah, great work from you there, Maxie, on your second game on the boundary line. Loving the work from you too on the boundary. 8:4:52 to North Ringwood, 6:7:43, 6.5 minutes played here at East Ringwood. Ralph and Cleveland to do battle on the ruck. Tap one down by Ralph, straight into the path there of Devlin. Marcius. Few great battles in the ruck here today. Cleveland wins a tap down straight to Cherney. He's been crunched on top of the footy there. Cherney looks a bit sore with that one. He's such a big unit, takes 2 takes to pull him up there from the East Ringwood camp. So Ralph and Renton. Renton wins the tap down, only as far there as Fenton. Fenton goes long, trying to find Van Unen. Running back with the float there, great spoil there from Hubbard. As they look to clear the football out the Roo. So they're in the hands now of James Bellow. James Bellow uses his hands. Great evasion there. They look to go long down the line, trying to find a teammate there in Bellow. So now in the hands of Whelan. Whelan goes long down the centre half forward direction, running back. Oh, what a great mark taken there by James Bellow. Sat very nice on Anthony Sharp's head. And now he goes inbound to find his teammate here in Cerny, who's had plenty of the football.
He's having a great game.
Back to Bellow, trying to find a teammate running down in Bishop. Bishop drops what he should have taken. It's hit his foot whilst he's got momentum and trickles over to Peter Banfield's coaching box. And we'll have a boundary throw in 8 minutes played here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve.
Umpire to bring the ball back in now. Cleveland came from a long way back to get that knocked down. Haley crunched in a tackle over the boundary line and out. Get down to the Maroondah Sports Club if you're in the area. There's a big second half being played out here today. A fantastic local rivalry. The kick goes up towards the wing position. Ball did carry, but trapping it nicely there was Jones for North Ringwood. Gave a little don't argue, shrugged the tackle, shrugged 2. That was good play on the right boot. Sends it up towards the half-forward line. It might bounce favourably here. It does there for Griffiths. Over the top he goes to himself. Swings around on the right boot now. Kick goes inside forward 50, but it fell short, and standing his ground nicely was Daniel Batira. As we cross down to Will Taylor with some stats that matter, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, big one here. The tap outs. East Ringwood smashing North Ringwood in this quarter, 9-0.
Thanks, Will.
That's huge.
So now the ball once again in front of Peter Banfield's coaching box, but the 47th time I've said that today.
Gus McLeod is sponsored by Peter Banfield's coaching box today.
Tap one down by Cleveland once again. Trying to bust his way through the pack there was Powell. But in there to get an entry, Banfield trying to get ahead on it now. Now it's a foot race between Sharp and Eckers. Sharp wins the battle and he's taken down. Sharp on his hands on the footy once again, goes a long handball over the top to Shepherd. Shepherd punches the ball forward, trying to find a teammate here. He does in Harbeck. Harbeck
he threw it. Just the umpire was right there. He might have got away with it if he wasn't standing directly in front there. It was quite tricky, but it wasn't legal.
So now Mitch Farmer with the footy in his hands. Oh, a terrible kick now. Van Unen running back with a fly, but good mark taken by Michael Loco.
That should have been 25. There was a North Ringwood player coming from the back to try and spoil that from the kick. He hadn't played on. Very interesting.
Loco, ordinary kick straight into the lap
He's
of
had
his
a good
opposition
game today,
teammate,
James.
James Bello.
He's had a fantastic game there in the back line for East Ringwood this afternoon.
That he has, Frosty. Chipping the ball around in the back line there. Poor kick, but it's found his target in McLennan. Back with Bello. Bello's under pressure now from Banfield. He handballs to his teammate there. Great spoil. Now they can rebound out of the half-back line. The kick was terrible off the boot. Out of bounds on the full in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And Anthony Sharp has his hands on the footy. We need to find an option quick so the Saints can attack on this counter. So Sharp has the footy looking to go long to the hot spot. Top of the square. Big pack flies. Charlie Haley, the crunching tackle, but now East Ringwood are going to rebound, and that they do quickly. Trying to find Renton. Big strong mark taken, but it was dropped. Crumbing there,
well done.
And well done off the back, half-back flank there from Wood. Wood, but he's going to get done for holding the ball.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's play of the day there from Wood. What a spoil and second and third effort and tackle. That was absolutely sensational stuff to see that, Pete.
Oh, no, it's really good. That's what you want to see from a bloke. If you can't bring the ball, mark the ball, bring it to ground, then butter up 2-3 efforts at ground level if you have to.
Stacks on the mill, we'll see holding the ball decision being paid.
Red hot on that this afternoon.
Against East Ringwood, they certainly are. Jack Whelan once again tries to snag the free kick. Tarachua, well, then it does go, gave it back to Whelan in the end, and then he doubled back and his kick was smothered over the boundary line and out of bounds.
You've got a North Ringwood player struggling trying to get a boot back on there, 44, for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, Daniel Wood, after we gave him such a big wrap-up, I saw him at the stoppage, he was struggling, so...
Doesn't know how to tie his shoelaces at 22 years old. Interesting signs as Taratua rins a ruck tap down. Great roving work there from East Ringwood. They look to go inbound now. They do with Farmer. Farmer goes long trying to find a teammate. It's a great kick into the space. And a big crunching tackle over the back, but crowing the football there is McLennan. McLennan being dived on top of, and the North Ringwood boys can regather themselves.
That was Cherney once again at the stoppage. His strength through his torso and hips is just really crucial for him at the moment.
So Taratuta to battle with Renton. Renton just used his body quite nicely and tapped the ball forward. Running through the back there was Sammy Whelan. Now the hands of Waitman. Waitman passes to his teammate there, and McLennan weaves and wives. Nice little chipping kick there from Renton. Good one-hander taken mark. Stiff not to be paid that one for the Roos.
Should have been a free kick. They were holding him, they were all over him, and he nearly marked it anyhow. Should have been a free kick.
So I have a ball up now, 25 metres out from the East Ringwood goal. Renton, great tap, only as far as Whelan. Once again, another ball up, same position. Very dangerous spot here for the Roos. So Renton and Taratua. Taratua went to tap down. Great work there by the Whelan. Whelan's in with dispossessed handballs to his teammate now. Now they can run through the half-back flank. Should have taken a mark there, and that's bad from the East Ringwood Footy Club. James Dean, the man with 2 first names, dropped a mark that he should have taken.
The rebel without a cause.
Never trust a man with 2 names.
Yeah, well, the teammates didn't trust him to take that mark, and in the end, we'll have a boundary throw-in. Taratua and Cleveland to do battle here. Cleveland been dominant in the ruck, and once again wins no tap, trying to find Cerny. Ball's been busting through the pack there from Osborne. Cerny just absolutely says, try tackle me, why don't you? But now
that's hilarious.
Now North can rebound. Ralph coming through the back of the pack, barging through Canoe. Smart ball there from Harbeck. Finds his teammate in Fenton. Fenton goes long to Van Unen. Van Unen dropped what he should have taken. Dropped the should have played holding the ball. Now Ralph looks to try and spoil, but he can't. Charlie Haley bustling through the pack there. Griffiths. Great work there from Mark Griffiths to hold the footy in. Now they're back to Renton. Van Unen's in there as well, and so are both the Whelan boys. The umpire will ball it up, BWS.
The credit must go to players from both sides here. That was just a couple of minutes of real tough football.
It's crossed down to Will Taylor.
I tell you what, it is a bit restless down here in the boundary with the crowd, but most importantly, stats so far, inside forward 50 is North Ringwood 10 to East Ringwood 2, so North Ringwood not taking advantage at all when they've gone inside forward 50.
Well, we'll just settle yourself down and start exciting the crowd down there.
Play to bring the ball back in, right in front of us here in the broadcast position. Evans Marcy has trapped it. Griffiths just had him wrapped up.
The East Ringwood strength around these stoppages could prove crucial in this second half. Guys like Evans, Marcius, Cerny, Osborne, I mean, they're out with much bigger bodies around stoppages than their North Ringwood counterparts.
Haley from the stoppage gained a valuable 25 metres, but it killed over the boundary line and out of bounds.
And I'm surprised Gus hasn't said it's in front of Peter Banfield's coaching box.
So because it's not.
That's only because it's behind the coaching box.
By to bring the ball back in. It was Cleveland who had the stoppage. And that's because it wasn't in front of the box, Ray. As it comes out now, as Whelan slams it on his boot up towards centre half forward. A big fly, eyes only for the football. Batera takes the mark. He gets the handball away. They'll try to find an option right towards the wing position. Cleveland go for a big ox like him. He takes the mark. He's got good jukes. He'll look forward now. Looks a little bit indecisive. Gets it to Evans Marcius. He was under a lot of pressure. That's an absolute shocker. That was silly play by the two veterans.
Nelly Bruce pressed ball.
Brucey almost taking a diving mark on that one. It comes out now, Tim Jones. So he'll look to send the ball forward. I think North Ringwood are winning this quarter against the breeze. Dangerous kicking towards the middle of the ground. Over the top there of Dean, but it was trapped there nicely by Devlin. Inside forward 50. He goes, and he needed to hit the target, and he did. Dylan Ballow takes the mark about 25 metres out, directly in front. He'll put it through, you'd expect.
Just a poor defensive kick there from North Ringwood, turned it over and caught their defence completely out of position, and the kick came back in, and they've hit up their target there in Dylan Ballow, and he'll put this through from 25 metres out.
Well, they barely miss him from this end today, and that's no mistake. That's gone on to to Mountain Highway, almost that ball. And that's the one that they were after. They need to go in at three-quarter time, you would expect, with a couple of goal buffer, the East Ringwood Football Club. And currently they lead by 15 points, 9-4-58 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. North Ringwood 6-7-43.
Yeah, it was a poor option by the defender of North Ringwood there. If you're going to switch the ball into the corridor, inside the opposition's forward 50, you have to do it instantly. You can't take 5 minutes to decide to do it and then do it.
Let's cross boundary sign now to Max Steenklamp.
Yep, the sun's starting to break through the clouds here, as it's done for a little while, and it looks like it's playing havoc with a few players marking. Dylan Bellow with no trouble there, but a few times this quarter players have been caught up with the sun in their eyes.
So Taratua and Cleveland. Cleveland once again dominant in the ruck. Coming through the back of the pack there was Decker. Oh, great intercept play there from Farmer, and what a great hit up that was. And they've been in the hands of Bellow.
Silly not to have a shot from here. The wind will work it. The wind will work it back beautifully.
Yeah. Needs to go back and put this one through.
Pete, those midfielders again, just their strength around the stoppages.
So Dylan Bellow. Distance shouldn't be away with a strong breeze here at East Ringwood Reserve. He gives it, didn't want to give the handball off to Farmer. He goes, nah, mate, watch me. I'll kick it myself. Here comes Dylan Bellow. Kick looks very nice off the boot. It's going straight over the goal umpire's head. Dylan Bellow says, thank you very much. Another great goal, 2 in a row for the Roos here. Starting to create a little bit of a buffer. It's East Ringwood 10-4-64 to North Ringwood 6-7-43. Ben Warren Smith.
And a magnificent one-arm mark by the guy behind the goals as well. I still think he had can in hand. That was absolutely sensational. Certainly a contender for Brash's Blazer Mark of the Year. Ball back in the middle here. Cleveland goes after it. Cherney in again as it came out. Benton got the 1-2, doubled back, and then we'll use the corridor up towards the half-forward line. This will bounce favourably for Griffiths. Got the handball away. Here's Banfield on the left inside forward 50. That was neat. That was good play there by the Saints. And out in front, Darcy Price has already kicked a goal in this match. We'll go back and try and get the quick answer.
What price will he kick this?
That wasn't even funny.
That was probably your worst one I've ever heard, Ray.
Lovely dad joke there, Ray.
It's an important kick here, though. There's only been 3 goals.
I can appreciate it, mate.
Darcy Price comes in now. That's a beautiful executed kick, and he just missed it to the left-hand side. Big Dave Parker, the one-finger salute, announces a 1-behind score for North Ringwood. They're 20 points in arrears of East Ringwood, 10-4-64 to 6-8-44, Gus.
That they are, they go long down the line. That kicks on about 70 metres, I reckon. Now East Ringwood. Great work there from Whelan. Whelan swings around his right boot. Tries to find a teammate there in Banfield. Banfield's been dispossessed. I actually think it was Aaron Johns, as a matter of fact, it was. So Aaron Johns has the ball right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. which shows a 20-point lead to East Ringwood.
How far do they need to be in front of three-quarter time, BWS?
About this margin.
So now East Ringwood go to a counter-attack they do, trying to find a thing in Batera. Bishop's on the footy now, and he's going to be paid a free kick. So free kick going to Jaden Bishop. Not a lot of options forming for him. So he goes long to Bello, and Bello couldn't quite bring it down. Great crumbing there from Waitman. Throws it onto the hands to Renton, the big fella for his fourth! And it drifts across the goal line for a behind. That would have been a very nice goal there for Andy Renton. But once again, the ball is going to buffer in the East Ringwood forward line. The Mountain Dandenong Highway into the ground, and the East Ringwood Football Club have a 21-point lead.
So it'll be Jimmy Dean to bring the ball back in. Just waiting
If
for
they can
the
find it.
ball to return. To see the young kids getting down and underneath the cars. So it'll be Dean to bring the ball back in. Plays it to himself now. On the right boot, sends it outside that defensive arc. A big fly over the back from Bishop. He calls the spoil. That was a good play. The umpires paid a free kick to East Ringwood there. Yeah, that was not too convinced on that one. Everything looked pretty fair where we were sitting. As a kick goes in, Renton will be the target, the big man. A big knock over by Loco. Decker came in with the fist as well, got it away, hitting the deck, and not being rewarded was Eckers, and the umpire will come in and bounce it, picking himself up Matty Payne for North Ringwood, and will have a bounce about 30 metres out from the East Ringwood goal line, leading by 21 points. They'd love another one here. Little snap around the body. Which way is this one going to go? Outside of the pack. It's only just stayed in for one behind. Every point counts in a close contest, there's no doubt about that. 22 minutes gone in this third term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 66, plays 44. East Ringwood lead North Ringwood by 22 points.
That they do, BWS. So it'll be Jack Whelan to kick the footy into himself. Comes towards the broadcast wing, trying to find a teammate here in Loco. Whoa. And the umpire's paid a free kick for push. I'm not sure if I agree with that one, BWS, but nonetheless, it's in the hands of Mitch Farmer.
Yeah.
Crazy by Loco.
He was going
so
Loco.
Farmer goes to the top of the goal square, and great work there from Price. And the umpire's going to ball it up 25 metres out from the East Ringwood goal.
That breeze looks like it's picked up in the last few minutes as well.
Does.
Really, really strongly out of that Mount Dandenong Road end of the ground.
Just that kick by Farmer then. He just lobbed it very gently to centre half forward. Why not have a shot for goal? The way the wind's blowing it back in there.
So 4 minutes to go here in the third term. Umpire's going to probably ball it up once again. Great tackling pressure there from Sam Whelan. The Whelan boys are dangerous for the Saints today.
Yeah, I've noticed the breeze pick up. Pete, all your sausage roll crumbs are blown down my end.
So Bello on the ball, trickling out the back. Waitman's there as well for the Roos, but they just can't get anything.
I thought it was because the dribble was coming out of one side of your mouth only.
Let's cross down boundary side to Will Taylor with some stats that matter.
Yeah, East Ringwood still hasn't lost a tap out in this quarter. 25 straight against North Ringwood in this quarter.
Good on your well, ball's in the hands now of Charlie Haley. Haley tried to find a teammate there in Griffiths. Griffiths handballs into space, looking to find a teammate there in Sharp. Sharp got us on the footy, great gutsy play. And the umpire's paid a free kick here to North Ringwood.
In the back.
That's a really poor rule, I reckon. The guy going the ball there, it's given away the free kick because the guy has basically he's made contact below the knees. That's a poor
He
rule.
dived on.
Looking to find Payne. Payne dispossessed of the footy there from Eckers. Great work. Eckers once again. Oh, taking it really high there. Matty Payne's going to pick him up. He realised he did it going for the footy, but gutsy work there from Martin Eckers. Eckers finds a teammate here in Waitman. Waitman has the footy. 65 metres out. Never thought I'd hear anyone say that. Have a shot from 65. Trying to find a teammate. Renton was there. Loco uses his hands, finds Whelan. Whelan going to bomb it out of the back 50. Looking to find a teammate here. And a good strong mark has been taken there from Darcy Hubbard, I think.
Batera.
So it's Batera with the footy. Batera goes short, trying to find a teammate here. That he does. Good strong mark taken there from Chadwick. Chadwick comes back to Patera. Patera goes back to Chadwick. So it's McLennan now. McLennan has the footy, true centering position, far side of East Ringwood. Goes long to the top of the arc. Good contest there from both teams. Ralph there trying to be dispossessed. Handball over the top there. Kinsella goes to inside out. Banana, and it's gone all the way through. Great work there from Liam Kinsella.
Great goal.
Puts his first on the board. The inside out right foot. Bunana. Thanks for coming, and the East Ringwood Football Club starting to use the wind to their advantage. Now it's 10-6, 66 to North Ringwood, 6-8, 44, 25 minutes played at East Ringwood Reserve.
This might sound overcritical, but East Ringwood's application, their endeavour in this quarter is completely different when they got their wind at the back than what they showed in the second quarter. Now, I mean, I don't care about the conditions, but the way you apply yourself and how hard you go at the contest should have no bearing on the conditions you're playing with. So that's something for Marcus Pizzaglo really to address.
28 points is the margin. There only can be a few minutes left in this third term. They'd love another one, but North Ringwood would love to peg one back. Here it is in the arms there of Anthony Sharp. Sends the ball up to half forward line, but I tell you what, he got a little nudge as he kicked it. He just held on to it for a smidgen too long, and James Balo takes a safe mark. He gets it across Patera over the top now. They might just try and hold the ball up here. Screaming for it in the middle of the ground is Lee Osborne. He's going to be ignored. It's probably a little bit too risky. It's hugged the boundary line type of situation deep into this third quarter. Up towards the half forward line it goes. It's in the arms of Waitman. Over the top he goes. He'll look for the 1-2. Will it set up for him? Waitman heavily met there by Cam Shield, and over the boundary line it goes for a boundary throw in. 60 metres out from the East Ringwood goal line. They've had a great quarter. They've kicked 4 goals.
Interesting to see David Evans-Marcy is coming off for a spell now, which could be really important because he's going to be a player they're going to really look to in this last quarter to try and hang on to this lead and get him over the line.
Nearly every goal's been kicked at the Mountain Highway end of the ground as a kick goes forward. This time it goes out of bounds on the full. So it'll be Decker to bring the ball back in for the Saints.
He's got a booming left boot.
And he'd want to roost it as far as he possibly can here, and he does just that out towards the half back line. Wood was the big flyer, couldn't pull the mark down. Eventually in the arms there of Balo on the right boot, kicks it to the top of the goal square, knocked away. Charging at it really hard there was Payne. He went extremely hard, so did Wheel, and eventually Shepherd picked up the football. Well done there by Osborne to lay the tackle. Bouncing football out towards the Van Unen direction. He's come a long way up the ground. Give this support as the Tonka fire truck sounds in the background, and we have three-quarter time out here at East Ringwood. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 28-minute quarter that was. And it was a goalless one for the North Ringwood Football Club, but East Ringwood, with the breeze, managed to pile on 4 majors, and they go in with a very handy 28-point lead at three-quarter time, 11-6-72 to 6-8-44. The major goal kickers on the ground for East Ringwood, 2 to Osborne, 2 to Renton, and 2 to Dylan Ballow. And for North Ringwood, it is Rory Harbeck with 2 along with Sam Banfield. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, EFL.org.au. Will Taylor and Max Stankamp, they're heading out to the huddles. We'll hear from one of the coaches right after this and get very excited about 30 minutes of Division 1 football at its best right after this.
Up the Mitcham Tigers! Down the Burners!
Let's go, Panthers!
What a mark! Let's go, doggies!
Tobin Brothers Funeral, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account. The latest news and views on Facebook. Don't miss EFL Game Day or the Match Footage Hub on YouTube. And all those happy snaps on the league's Instagram account. Simply search Footy EFL. Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
Up the doggies!
Go, the Bloods!
Great goal, Devils! Can the Vailers!
Tobin Brothers Funeral, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. Thanks for joining us here on EFL Match Day, a special Sunday edition. It's three-quarter time between East Ringwood and North Ringwood. East leading 11-6, 72 to North Ringwood 6-8, 44. But the Saints do have the big wind advantage in the last quarter, kicking towards the Mountain Highway end of the ground. Boys, Razor, you're the only one joining me here, but I reckon this wind is going to be crucial in this final quarter for the Saints.
Oh, look, yeah, but they've got to use it properly. You know, to kick goals, I think you've got to get most of the goals kicking from this side of the ground. But look, you can't allow the wind just to do it for yourself. But look, going back to that quarter, look, I thought North Ringwood were a little bit disappointing after their second quarter. But, only kicking 2 points. But look, East Ringwood, I thought their endeavour in that quarter was fantastic, but what they got to just do is keep it up for the next quarter. I think they got a big enough margin to at the moment to win this game, but whether or not they will, it's up to them.
Yeah, you're certainly right there, Razor, but I really like the game so far out of the guts from Chris Cheney. He's been superb in the midfield, hasn't he?
To me, he's been one of the best players on the ground. Look, as Pete said, it's just his strength. He's got a low centre of gravity with the style of body he's got, and he just holds his feet in a contest, and his strength is just fantastic.
I think his low centre of gravity comes from the few extra pies he's been having after the game, BWS, but really looking forward to what this final quarter is going to dish up. Do you think North Ringwood have what it takes to come in with a bang, BWS?
Well, we haven't seen a goal kick down the far end for the last two quarters. Of course, North Ringwood kicked 2 in the first term, but otherwise we haven't seen a goal kick down that way. So the odds are that North Ringwood are going to come flying home here, just the way that the game's been going. I think the margin of 28 points is just the margin where East Ringwood would like to have it at the moment. It might just be a little bit too great. They might be able to hold on. But you never know. North Ringwood will be looking to kick a couple of goals very quick in this final term, get that pressure on, and then they've got basically a quarter of football still left to ping back and kick 3 goals to get their noses in front. But it is a very, very handy breeze. It's a very, very exciting spread that we've got in front of us here from the East Ringwood Football Club as well at three-quarter time. You've got the salami and cheese, and all of a sudden Wayne Brash is back on board the media team. He went, he must have smelt the trays going up the stairs, and he can sit wherever he likes, our Brash. But three-quarter time is almost over here. We're no doubt going to cross down boundary side very shortly.
Ben, just on that margin, at the moment that they've got to kick 5 more goals than East Ringwood. Now, if East Ringwood can just snare a goal early in the quarter, it could just break the back of North Ringwood.
As Wayne Brasher would say, it could be G.O. Ben Warren Smith, but Peter Banfield's huddle has been going for a long time. He looks very animated at the moment.
Yeah, and I can see Max Stankamp standing outside the East Ringwood huddle, so he got to hear what Marcus Bazzaglo had to say at three-quarter time. Let's cross down to him and hear those important messages. How do they feel at the moment, Max?
Yeah, so they're very quiet down there in the huddle today, but they seem to be pretty confident. They're talking about, keeping it low, lowering the eyes, making sure they've got hands on the footy, because if they've got hands on the footy, then North Ringwood can't get the ball and can't score. But Marcus Bazzaglo did then run off to all of his players and, give them all individual messages as they all ran onto the field. So there was certainly a lot being said in that huddle despite the quiet out there.
Great stuff, Max. Looks like one of the warmest people in the ground today with that magnificent hipster beard that he sports down there. Fantastic stuff. He'll hand the microphone over to Will Taylor, who was with Peter Banfield on the North Ringwood Football Club at three-quarter time.
Look, he pretty much said he was very calm about it. I'm surprised what Gus actually commented there just before, but he was pretty calm about it. He said, take the game on, keep the pressure up, and a lot of times he said, lower the eyes, and the bats need to defend really strongly, and it's not a kicky game, so need to keep that pressure going. Just going quickly for the stats as well. They choose tap. East Ringwood won inside forward 50s again, 39-31 so far in this game. Clearances were 44-25 for the first 3 quarters, and the tap outs 28-0 in that third quarter. Overall, East Ringwood 70, North Ringwood 24.
Banfield wins the tap down, tries to find a teammate there. Decker working really hard, and so is his teammate there in Shield. Shield loses possession there, and the ball's going to trigger towards the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. And notice a lineup change, BWS. Joshy Ralph starting forward for the Saints. Could be a match changer.
Yeah, they needed to change something up, didn't they? So get the big men down there for the long bombs going with the wind as the umpire brings the ball back in now. It'll be Cleveland getting a little bit held onto then. The umpire didn't see it by Tarachua, but it came out now to Havonen. Little handball away, a quick kick up towards the half-forward line, looking for the Renton direction. It was palmed down in front of him, getting boot to ball just in the nick of time there was Wood over the top there. Look away handball out towards the direction there of Tim Jones over. He sees at the boundary line right near the cricket nets out here at East Ringwood. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 28-point margin to the home side at the moment. They're playing good football, East Ringwood. Pye to bring the ball back in. They're kicking against the breeze, so North Ringwood really wanting to get a start on here. Charlie Haley sees the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds, right underneath the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. So 98.1 Radio Eastern on a Sunday afternoon. It doesn't get much better than this. EFL.org.au, wherever you are around the globe, you can tune in today, and there are plenty as it comes out now. Banfield, little handball. That was good play. They'll try and set something up here through Haley, who was under a lot of pressure. Just got the handball away in the nick of time. Devlin out wide now for East Ringwood. Got it to Waitman. He got it to Bishop on the right boot. He's kicking it towards Ballow, and the ball swung and swung and swung. And through for a minor score it goes.
That had a bit of Glenn McGrain swing about it, that one.
Absolutely it did. So it'll be Tim Jones to bring the ball back in, Gus.
Thanks, Benny. The Saints need a goal. They need one quick. So Jones with his hands on the footy trying to bring the ball back in for the Saints. Plays on, finds a short target here, and Michael Loco. He's been reasonably solid today, Loco. Right in front of the cricket nets in that little ditch. He goes long down to centre wing position, trying to find Ralph. Ralph couldn't quite get to the front of the pack. The few North Ringwood jumpers, and as well as one East Ringwood jumper in Martin Eckers. They needed superbly to bring the ball to ground. So Martin Eckers played a pretty reasonable game today, Frosty. He's been tough and in and under.
He has, and one thing really noticeable in the start of this last quarter is East Ringwood's endeavour is maintained in this quarter, unlike what they exhibited in the second term.
So North Ringwood counter-attack, trying to find a teammate there, brought it front and centre, but a good mark in the end has been taken. Beautiful stuff there from Rory Harbeck. Great use of the body, Bray.
Yeah, look, he's been fantastic in his marking there today. You know, he kicked a couple of early goals in the game, but hasn't had a lot of chances since then, but his marking's been very good.
So he'll go for his third of the game. This will be a great start for the Saints in their surge home. He'll kick from 55 metres out with the breeze. Rory Harbeck. Kick looks good off the boot, and it's just gone to the left-hand side. Not an ideal start for the Saints, but the ball nonetheless is in their forward 50 where they need it to be. So I think Bellow's got kick-in duties. No, it's not. It is with Bellow. James of the James variety. James Bellow to kick in for the Roos. Not many options presenting. He might have to go long down the wing. That he does. Goes towards the far side of the ground. Good punch from the back there. Trying to keep the ball alive here is Hirovan. That he does. Goes inbound to Bellow once again. Bellow goes to Eckers. Eckers throws the ball in the boot, trying to find a teammate. Good mark taken there by Devlin. Devlin plays on. Looks to find a hit-up target. Good strong mark out in front from Dylan Bellow. Dylan Bellow right in front of the Ringwood Mazda sign.
He's
True
been
centre
very
wing
good
position.
today, Gus.
He's been super.
He's given him a target up forward.
Both the Bellow boys have been super in the blue and white for the Roos. So Bellow goes long. Great spoil at the back there. In the hands now of Andrew Fenton. Charlie Halley putting his head over the foot. He should be rewarded for a free kick, but nonetheless, he's going to get a ball up. Let's cross boundary side now to Maxi.
The wind has picked up another notch here, and it is absolutely freezing down here. So that wind is now going to play an even bigger factor in this last quarter than we initially thought.
Great work from you there, Maxi. So the wind is picking up in North Ringwood's favour. They need a goal and they need one quick. Fenton wins the tap down. In the hands now of Bellow. Eckers just got absolutely poleaxed, and he probably will get pinned behind the ball. He doesn't. Great tap coming over the back there. So Taratura doing the majority of the ruck work. Great tap there by Taratura, trying to find a teammate in Whelan. Quick hands there to Charlie Haley, and a big tackle there. And he's paid a free kick nonetheless to Charlie Haley, but the Saints get on with it. Comes in bound to Sammy Banfield. Sammy Banfield got dispossessed. Ball's in the hands now of Chadwick. Now it's Banfield once again on the cricket pitch, and the ball's pinballing around. It's a bit slippery there. And we'll have a ball up once again.
One thing about East Ringwood is they really struggle to change tempo in the way they play their football. Kicking into the breeze, they should be looking to try and slow this game down a little bit, maintain possession, but they're still trying to play on at every cost, which isn't really the way they should be trying to maintain this lead and win this game.
He looks pretty hot there, but the ball has gone long down the line. The intended teammate there was Harbeck. Harbeck goes to Ralph. Ralph, little chip, can go to the top, puts Sammy Banfield under the pump and running back with the flight. He's done pretty well. Now it's a foot race between Banfield and Eckers. Banfield wins the tap. Little dribble kick, Sammy Banfield going for his third goal of the day. And it's just trickled through for a behind. He's been lively for the Saints, Sam Banfield.
He's been good, but particularly in the second half, Gus.
That he has, Ray. Speaking of the Bellow boys once again, James will kick out for the Roos. They need to build some possession up here, East Ringwood. So he plays on. Bellow goes long to the broadcast position wing, trying to find Renton. Ball shook it out the back of the pack. There's a few North Ringwood jumpers there, but in the end, the ball was taken across the line by Daniel Wood. 6.5 minutes played here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. 11-7-70 play 6-10-46.
Cleveland got the knockdown. East Ringwood, quick kick out of the pack and gained a valuable 25 metres. Also our awards today given on EFL Game Day. There's two of them today. Of course, the Player of the Day, the Tobin Brothers Player of the Day, a $50 Coles Meyer voucher. 3 2-1 votes given by the crew after the final siren, and of course the Vibro goal of the day as well. We've had a few contenders for that. A $50 deep tissue massage for any player recovering after a strong game of football. Comes out now. Fenton has it for North Ringwood. He takes it upon himself. Fenton, can he put it through? He can't.
Had options.
He pushed it to the right-hand side. Harbeck had a little bit of space as well out in front. He could have just popped it up, but I think at this stage in the game, you've got to back yourself from that position.
Well, if they're going to win this game, they've got to score a couple of goals before the 15-minute mark of the quarter. You can't leave it to the last 10 minutes or so.
So it'll be James Bellow to bring the ball back in. Weighing up his options. Kick goes very long, and Charlie Haley's touched it inside the line where he should have just let it go out of bounds on the full. So
yeah, but you're up here, you could see that he wasn't. He's down there, Ben.
Well, the line's closer to him than it is to me, Ray. So pretty sure he could have made that decision himself.
But he was watching the football. You weren't.
Yes, I was calling it. You're not going to win this argument, Ray. As it comes in now, Renton got the handball, got the knockdown. Comes out Eckers now. East Ringwood, a barrel goes up right into Peter Banfield's dugout.
Now we got another third possession.
Out of bounds on the full this time. Heath Decker to bring the ball back into play. On the left boot. Going to get every bit of purchase that he can. Oh, look at that work there by Haley just to work out Cleveland out of the contest. The smallest man versus the big man on the ground. The smallest man won out. A David and Goliath situation there as it comes out. Jack Whelan on the left boot up towards the half-forward line. Bellow overrun it. Sharp was in there in game 150. He wants to spark his side somehow. Nicely done there by Price to knock it into the top of the goal square. Picked up there by Shepherd. You can't believe it. He's just threaded the eye of the needle, Shepherd. And he's another contender for the Vibro goal of the day. That's an absolute ripper. Brought something out of nothing, paddled it to himself. It's just absolutely impossible that he is the clubhouse leader.
He is. He's got that done and dusted. That is the goal of the day without any doubt.
I thought Joshy Waitman's goal in the second term was in the first term was pretty special, but that one just says thank you very much. What an absolute cracker that was. And now the North Ringwood Saints, well, they're coming. 11-7, 73, 7-11, 53. Ball up in the centre of the circle, and once again, the bottom of the pack, guess who? Jack Wheel, and he's been super today for the Saints. Taratura in the ruck with Cleveland. Big crunching tackle over the back from Sammy Banfield, but it's not quite strong enough to stop the North Ringwood Football Club going forward. Big tackle there from Loco was forced off to Renton as the wind picks up here on the balcony, and I've lost all my notes and everything except me headpiece. I don't know who's got the footy, but it's in the forward 50 of East Ringwood.
Ray's flown off into the other end of the ground.
Renton wins the tap down. Michael Loco with a big crunching sling tackle. Great work over the back there from Brad Jones. Thanks, Will. We know you're cold. As the umpire bowls the ball back up, and Joshy Ralph looks to build possession here. Great work there from the big fellow Joshy Ralph. He goes, don't argue, thanks for coming very much. Swings onto his left boot, the trusty left boot, but it wasn't so trusty that time.
Had to do something with it.
And he went straight to James Bello. Great comments from our cameraman there. Thank you very much, Lee, for chiming in with some brilliance. So Bello goes wide, trying to find a teammate there, and Brad Jones, that he does. Had to do something at that time, and that he did. So now Jones. Running back with the fly there was Payne. Big fly, but couldn't quite do it. Eckers once again finds his teammate here in Devlin. Devlin goes wide, finds a teammate here.
Nice.
Inbound here to Bishop. Bishop launches, and it's just going to the left-hand side. That would have brought the house down here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. But nonetheless, it's East Ringwood.
It only opened today.
East Ringwood 11-8-74 to North Ringwood 7-11-53. 11.5 minutes gone to the final term. BWS.
Decker brings the ball back in. It's a high one as well. Standing strong. Loco took it in the front spot. He'll be looking to move the ball on as fast as possible. 21 points is a margin. They need 4 goals, North Ringwood. Right in front of our boundary riders, which we'll cross down to now. Max Stankamp.
Yeah, Timmy Jones has just come off after that really heavy marking collision. He's looking all right, but he's still proppy. And also Matty Payne, who's got the ball now, also was knocked down in that contest.
So Payne uses the wing position, and the ball being knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds by James Bello. What a great game he's had today.
He's been fantastic.
If he's not in the best 3 players on the ground today, I've been watching a different game than everybody.
I don't think it was that good. What game are you watching?
You'll be giving votes, Frosty, so we'll expect to see him in there. So it comes in now. Cleveland had the front spot. I think he's had a fantastic game as well. Fresh air shot from Fenton, comes out wide now. Here's Hubbard on the left boot for East Ringwood, goes out inside forward 50. The ball's effectively going to carry here. Nicely done there by Bishop. Got it away. Here's Waitman. Waitman kicks it. Goal! He squeezed it in somehow. He just sat it up and the wind eventually brought it back and it stuck inside the post. That could be the goal that gives East Ringwood 4 points today. Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we hit the 10 or 12 minute mark of this final term. Should have gone with 12 as the final score comes up at the moment. 80 plays 53. And I'll tell you what, now almost half a quarter's gone and they've squared the ledger, Abed.
Yeah, look, Waitman gets the credit for that goal, but look, Jaden Bishop, the way he carried the ball, he ran through a corridor of 4 or 5 opposition players and he was the one that got it to Waitman.
So once again, Cleveland wins the tap and North Ringwood win the clearance. Great work there from Fenton. Goes long and great strong mark taken by Rory Harbeck. He's been lively up forward today. Let's cross boundary side now.
Yeah, Tim Jones has looked like he's just copped a corky, so he's just getting a bit of work and should be back out there in no time.
Great work, Maxie. Now Rory Harbeck, this is the goal they need more than ever, the Saints, to bring the margin back. Rory Harbeck, 30 metres out, 45-degree angle, no worries, thanks for coming. Rory Harbeck kicks his third, and the Saints, they pegged his margin back, I should say. East Ringwood 12-8-80, North Ringwood 8-11-59, 14 minutes played on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and it's a 21 buffer to the Roos, Ray Baird.
Yeah, that was the answer that North Ringwood had to come up with. After East Ringwood kicked that goal down the other end, they had to answer straight away if they're going to be any chance in this game.
So they look like they've thrown their best engine room inside. The Saints, I should say. Fenton, Taratua. Good crunching tackle there from Banfield. Once again, Fenton wins the clearance. Looking to find it. Harbeck again. The ball might shoot off. Oh, well done there, Rory Fenton. Keeps the ball alive, finds his teammate here. Ball in the hands of Fenton. I don't know who's got the footy now. Now it's Griffiths in the long sleeve, did a big Aussie diving board thingy. Oh, just fair income, lost the plot, and Loco's taken a mark. Ben Warren Smith taken over.
Loco takes it, just inside the centre square. He takes off in the end, then kicks a skyscraper up towards the Whelan direction. Sam overran the football that time and then he went after it again. He had teammate there in Griffiths. They should have been able to raffle that, the two North Ringwood players, but to no avail. And once again, James Ballow comes in and just puts that added bit of pressure to cause the stoppage. We'll cross down very shortly to Will Taylor as Charlie Haley over the top handball. Got it away, he's sharp over the top. This is promising. Here's Shepherd. He was tricky earlier. Got the handball away. Ralph knocked it on. Haley around the body. Haley has it got the distance? No. Fantastic stuff by Bishop. He just put his legs in the right spot at the right time, then dived over the line. And 20 points is the margin out here. 80 plays 60. East Ringwood lead. 16 minutes gone. Will Taylor with some choose tap stats.
Yeah, North Ringwood really dominating this last quarter. Clearances at the moment is 10-8 in favour of North Ringwood. Inside forward 57-3 in favour of North Ringwood. And the free kick out there gone their way at 2-0.
Thanks very much there, Will. Ball in the hands of the big fella, Chris Cherney. He's been rock solid today. Cherney goes short, finds his teammate here in Farmer. Farmer has the ball in front of Marcus Pizzaglo's box.
No bias.
Not Val Budges.
No
The ball goes, oh, big fly over the back there. I should have paid a free kick because he got absolutely nowhere near it.
And Peter Banfield gets his fourth possession.
Peter Banfield looking at Peter Banfield coach's box. As you can hear in our special effects, Mike, which is very loud, that the North Ringwood fans are quite vocal about that one. Tap one down by Taratua. At the bottom of the pack there, as he is all day, is David Evans-Marcius. And we'll have a ball up. True centre wing position. 17 minutes gone here. 20-point margin in favour of the Roos. Cerny throws the ball into his right boot. Great ball coming across the back there from Johns. Ball's just pinballing around there. Payne's there for the Saints. And we'll have a ball up right on the forward 50 arc.
Pete, once again, Cherney's strength at that stoppage, wasn't it?
He just runs in a straight line, puts the ball, tucks the ball under his arm and just barges through. It's really good to see it again.
Speaking of the devil, and his tackling pressure has been absolutely superb. We'll have a ball up, 45 metres out from the East Ringwood goal. You'd feel a goal here would put the icing on the cake. Tap went down to a sitting duck there, and he just literally picked him up. And everyone has a bit of a chuckle there, but he's been absolutely superb. Aaron Fenton today for the Saints. BWS, take it away.
Renton got the knockdown straight into the arms there of Banfield, slams it on his boot towards the Ralph direction. The big man did well, got boot to ball, just kick up towards the half-forward line where Harbeck does lead the race for the Saints. Little look away handball, he was looking for Shield, couldn't quite chop it off there, but Batira was in there for East Ringwood, and he'll hold the ball up just outside the centre square, almost centre half forward here for North Ringwood, trailing by 20 points. There's only about 10 minutes to go in this final term as the umpire throws it up. Nicely done there by Evans-Marcius, who kicked it out wide, but the mark's been taken by Loco. He's been a good play for North Ringwood today, and as you give a guy a rap, he absolutely mozzed it as it came out now. Whelan was in there, so too was his brother. Jack's the one to go after it again. He took off, but he spent it before he had it. Umpire set play on. Waitman, little handball over the top. This is now promising. Eckers going after a fantastic tackle by Dan Wood. Brought him to ground, and he'll be rewarded for it. Across centre half back for North Ringwood. They'll be looking to move the ball quickly. They'll be wanting to go direct. So Wood just stops props and then kicks it into the middle of the ground. That was okay. The mark there's been taken by Johns, who wants to switch the ball out wide. That was risky. He was looking for Haley, but he was the smallest man in the contest in the end, and it was a silly kick because Mitch Farmer was there just to take the easiest of marks. Switches the ball out wide. Here's Jones on the right boot using the grandstand side. Spots up his teammate there in Hubbard. Hubbard will use the left. Switches the ball back in play. Nice tackle there by Fenton. Brought his opponent to ground in that instant. Nicely done though by Eckers. Got the handball away. A little shimmy of a kick by Jones out wide. Didn't work out well. There's Jack Whelan. Got the handball away. Over the top of the football there, Farmer, and the umpire's going to come in and bounce this one. No, he's trying to let it go. It was good umpiring in the end. Try and get the spills out, and eventually we're going to have it restarted 60 metres out from the East Ringwood goal line. If they kick another one, it's game, set, and match. And they're enjoying having it up in their end as well, because it comes out now. Dean tried to get it away to his teammate in Shepherd, who laid a good tackle. There's still a lot of players around this football. Eckers, though, for East Ringwood goes after it 3 times. Evans Marcius handball out wide. That was a throw to Devlin. That time the umpire saw it. And it'll be a free kick to the Saints across half back in the arms of Daniel Wood, Gus.
Great call there, BWS. So Wood has the footy at true centre half back. One of 3 players wearing a helmet today for the Saints. Goes in the Ralph direction. Great spoil over the back now. Now East Ringwood can counter-attack. That was probably a throw as well, but he's got the footy back. Devlin goes long, trying to find a target. Great strong mark. Was dropped from Jaden Bishop. Every time I give someone a rap, they just completely top it up. I've had an absolute stinker on the microphone in those regards today.
I'm going early, boys. Game's over. Less than 10 minutes to go. North Ringwood have to kick 4 goals to win. East Ringwood are doing enough.
Good. Take your headset off. See you next week, mate.
He's going. He's gone. That's it. He's gone.
Don't tell him that. He's driving me home. Don't tell him that.
Well, in the meantime, the ball goes into the top of the goal square, and a mark has actually been taken this time by Darcy Hubbard. And you feel, boys, if he kicks this one, it'll be game, set, and match.
Only 5 minutes left, Gus.
And we can tell Ray Beck to go on because he's annoying me a bit too much.
He's come back. He's come back.
No,
he's back. Oh, he's back.
Ray Elvis Presley.
Even if he doesn't kick this, it's over, mate. Game's over.
Not a lot of time left. I'd agree with you,
Here's
Ray.
Hubbard to put the icing on the cake, and look at the Roos get around him. The margin now goes out to East Ringwood 13-8-86, North Ringwood 8-11-59. Frost, I'm going to warn you now, don't tell us that you told you so, because we already know.
Beautiful, Gus, beautiful.
So I'm going to put it out there. Frosty did tip East Ringwood, none of it else did. That's all we need to mention for the rest of the day. North Ringwood.
I told you also.
That'll do us. BWS, take us away. 21 minutes gone here at East Ringwood Reserve.
Inside the final 5 minutes out here.
That's why I'm on special comments.
To start it again, can the Roos just continue to ice that cake underneath the pack? Martin Eckers brings the ball back up for the umpire. Great performance here by East Ringwood. Geez, don't they lift another leg when they play these local derbies? Inside forward 50, the kick goes. Loco, one of North Ringwood's best players today, takes another strong mark. Got very close to the man on the mark, but switched it out wide looking for Shepherd, who's probably got himself a $50 voucher. Got it to Whelan, who dropped the pill. Should have been pinged for that one. Eckers did well, gave it away. Here's Osborne, charged through this way, that way. He might want the goal of the day. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Decker got a fist on it. Bello off the ground.
Well done,
Michael
Loco.
Well done by Loco. He just dived at the boot. And Dave Parker, the goal umpire, was right on top of that one.
He was all over it, Big Davey.
Not sure if Michael Loco or Heath Shaw in the 2010 Grand Final. Doesn't that rub salt in the wounds, Ben Warren Smith?
Who bought him?
As the ball goes long to the centre of the square, good mark dropped there, bloody hell, from Sam Whelan. Ball's in the hands now of Jack. Jack goes long to find his teammate here, and Anthony Sharp. Not many clean possessions here as Joshy Ralph cops a nice little falcon in the face. Ball's come out now to Hubbard. Hubbard dispossessed by Haley. Haley and Hubbard going head to head. Ball knocked forward there by Shepherd. Great stuff. And the ball's going to be balled up. No, it's not. Bello wins the ball out now. Finds his teammate here in Osborne. Osborne goes long down the line. Great work there from all parties involved.
That's harsh not to be called a mark.
Yeah, I thought it was too. Couldn't actually see who it was, but great work there from Daniel Wood. He's been super today as the umpires paid a free kick, and it's going the way of Martin Eckers.
Paid against Sam Whelan for back-chatting the umpire for not paying him the free kick or high tackle.
What I will say
have a look at here. Mark Griffiths going head-to-head here with Osborne. I reckon the punch-on's more entertaining than the footy. Ben Warren Smith take it away.
Well, it's Cherney now. He's going to switch the play. East Ringwood are happy to go on with this one, and it goes out wide. Here's Batira inside forward 50. He goes and copping one for his troubles. Bishop, he got one high, and he'll go back and have a shot. Ray Baird, the umpiring today is one of the best I've ever seen in my time with the EFL. I think it's been sensational.
Yeah, they've been very, very good, Ben, but do you think it's been made a little bit easier with the 3 umpires? Do you like that?
To me, I think it's worked absolutely perfectly today.
They've worked well together.
I haven't seen them put a foot wrong. We've challenged basically nothing as well, so a fantastic effort by them. And it's not often we give him an absolute massive rap, or let alone the people over the boundary side as well. But what a fantastic job they've done today. Bishop comes in. Bishop would love a goal. Bishop would not enjoy where that ended up.
Goal kicking training this week for him, BWS.
Out of bounds on the full. Decker to bring the ball back in. There's not too much longer to go in this match. A short pass is on. Jack Whelan takes the mark in front of his opponent in Hubbard. Whelan switches the ball back in. Loco is wrapping up the possessions today. Short passes on, dangerous. Waitman was there to chop it off. Osborne was in there as well. Loco goes back after it. Had the time, had the poise, got it away to Whelan. He busted 2 tackles, got the ball in towards the middle of the ground. The Roos do have the numbers though at the fall of the ball. It might be Power to pick this one up. Nicely done there by Fenton. He's had a good game also for the Saints. He hits the deck, and Power will push himself up off him and will have a bounce inside the centre square. The final couple of moments out here at East Ringwood today.
Taratua and Cleveland in a back battle once again. Today's been won by Cleveland, no doubt about that whatsoever. North Ringwood looking to go forward, trying to find a teammate at the top of the square. Well done, coming across the back of the pack there was Daniel Wood for the Saints. And he's going to tell Heath Decker, hang on mate, I'll kick it out. So Daniel Wood for the Saints. East Ringwood 13-10-88, North Ringwood 8-11-59. Kick finds Griffiths. Griffiths goes towards a teammate there, and Shepherd couldn't quite mark it. Little banana punch there, goes long down the line. It's just going to bounce in front of Peter Banfield's coaching box.
Is he going to go for 5?
Nah, he's handballed it off to his assistant. Non-greedy play there from Peter Banfield, always thinking about the team. I'm going to have a ball up once again in front of Peter Banfield's box. So the ball comes back into play now. Great work there from Cleveland. Finds his teammate in Cerny. Cerny's been superb. Goes to Eckers. Eckers, big crunching tackle over the back there from Shepherd. Michael Loco picks the footy up one-handed, evades one, evades 2. Finds his teammate there in Hill. Hill goes long down the line trying to find a... But it's all blue jumpers. Great work there from Bello. Bello finds Cleveland. Once again refuses to kick the footy on his brand new boots. Goes to Hubbard. Hubbard, short kick, finds a teammate here in Cerny, who's been absolutely superb. And the experience and class at Cerny will slow the play down. He's probably just going to want to hit a target up, but he goes long to a pack, trying to find Renton. But a good strong mark has been taken there by Max Taratua. Taratua has his hands on the footy now as the clock counts down. 15 seconds to go here at East. 0.
It's a very short 15 seconds.
The final siren sounds here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. East Ringwood 13-10-88 have defeated North Ringwood 8-12-60. Congratulations to the East Ringwood Football Club who get their 3rd win of the season. And boys, what a cracking game of football we've seen. A tale of 2 halves.
It certainly was, Gus, and look, all credit must go to East Ringwood. Look, that second quarter, they were very disappointing in that second quarter, but I tell you what, since half-time, as you pointed out, Pete, their endeavour and their enthusiasm and their attack on the football, it couldn't be doubted.
No, they were fantastic in the second half there. They really put the game out of North Ringwood's reach in that 3rd quarter, but they were able to maintain that application and that endeavour in the final term, which is something they lacked and fell away with during that second term, and that's where they need to be. If they're going to stave off relegation, we say, I mean, Bayswater are probably the big loser out of today's game because East Ringwood go 2 games clear of them now. Yep. I saw Gary Galvin here earlier just quietly watching and had a bit of a smile on his face at halftime after North Ringwood got themselves back into the contest. But the way East Ringwood really fought on in that second half today and showed what can be achieved when they really apply themselves. They're a team that belongs in First Division at the moment, and Mark Spazaglo, he'd be really happy with that, the way they fought it out.
Well, guys, we have to get your votes for the best players on the ground. But first, let's cross boundary side. We're the winning coach with Maxi there, Marcus Bazaglo.
Whack a headset on him, guys.
Marcus, you must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, really pleasing. Consistent 4-quarter effort, which was great. We sort of slipped a little bit in the second quarter, but yeah, last half was really pleasing.
Yeah. And yeah, who do you reckon really stood out for you guys today?
Look, when you win, it's generally a fairly even team performance. I think a couple of guys with jobs. Obviously, Hubbard on Haley did a great job, and also got a fair bit of the footy himself. Lee Osborne makes a big difference to us. I thought James Bealo down back was really strong. So yeah, tough sort of straight after the game to judge, but they were the 3 that stood out.
Yeah. Up the box with you guys just quickly.
Yeah, Mark, just a quick one, mate. I just want to give a quick shout out to the engine room today. I thought they were absolutely superb. We'll catch you after you go and sing the song. Congratulations, Marcus.
Good on you guys. Thanks, Cesar.
Well, there, guys. I think the best on ground today would be such a tough one to spread because it was such a great even array from the East Ringwood Football Club. But if you boys do have some votes, let's go to you, Ray Baird, for your best players.
Yeah, well, look, first of all, I must give, he didn't get in my vote, but look, he played, the first half was absolutely exceptional. His last quarter was very good. He copped a lot of flack from the North Ringwood players in the last quarter. He has played an AFL game with the Sunshine, with the Suns up there in Queensland, but that was Lee Osborne. Look, he didn't put 4 quarters together, but good enough to get a mention. One vote I gave to Big Dave Cleven. We know his history. He's been a first division ruckman, you know, down at Mulgrave for years. He comes here, we make a joke about he doesn't kick the ball, but he knocks the ball down on his mid. Well, listen to the song, boys. Okay, look, well, as I said, 1 vote goes to Dean Cleven. You know, great ruck work. You know, his handball, he doesn't kick it much, but he doesn't have to. 2 votes I gave to the I thought the best backman on the ground, and James Bellow. Look, everything that came down there, he ran off his opponent, he marked, he kicked, he used the ball very well. He would have gained a lot of meterage on the day with his run off, and so 2 votes to him. But for mine, the best man on the ground, he was in and under the stoppages, the hard work, he keeps his feet all the time, and I couldn't go past Chris Cherney.
Yeah, certainly there, Ray. He actually played an absolutely cracking game of football. When the boundary riders come out, we'll get their best players on the ground. But Pete, if you could read us through your best players for the day.
I had the same 3 players in my votes as what you did, Ray. I had them in different order, though. I gave Chris Cherney 1 vote today. I thought he fell away a little bit in the 3rd term. And in the last quarter, he wasn't really instrumental. But during the crunch time, he was fantastic. 2 votes for me to James Bellow. I thought he was a very close second best on ground today. He was a rock in the back line for them. And 3 votes today to Big Dean Cleven. I thought he was the dominant player on the ground. He dominated the ruck. He butted up around contest. And his tackling pressure for a big man was phenomenal. The way he was able to provide that second effort, apply the contact around stoppages if he wasn't able to clear the ball with his ruck work.
Yeah, great work there from you, Frosty, on the special comments today. I gave 1 vote to Dean Cleven in the ruck. I thought he was absolutely superb. I gave 2 votes to a North Ringwood player, and that was Aaron Fenton. I thought his work in the midfield today was absolutely superb. He set up a lot of forward entries for the Saints. I think he was probably the main man who scored a few of their goals in the last quarter. I thought he was absolutely tremendous for the Saints. And I gave 3 votes to James Bellow down back for the Roos. He was an absolute rock, playing on Jaden Van Unen and Tommy Hill at times. He was absolutely superb. Young players, born and bred East Ringwood Football Club. Superb stuff there from Bellow. Let's cross boundary side now to Maxie.
It's actually Will here.
Sorry, Will.
That's right. I've got James Bellow here from East Ringwood. And James, congratulations on the win today. A much-needed win for the Roos today.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's been a tough couple of weeks getting the rooms up and going, especially a tough year. But, yeah, no, it was definitely good to get the points today.
I felt today that you really jumped them early. You need that good start. That's what you did and really went on with it, especially in that second half.
Yeah, for sure, mate. It was a little bit of a focus to start well, but we tend to have little lapses in games, and that was the main focus, to not have too many of them. And, yeah, it was good to get away with it in the end.
What was the message at half-time? Because I felt that the game really changed in that 3rd quarter, especially late in that 3rd quarter, with especially the last 3 goals in that quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. They definitely got on top of us, and that's always something that I'm talking about with the lapses. We lose a bit of concentration, but to the boys' credit, got the first couple after that and got back on top.
Let's throw it to the boys up in the box.
James, it's Gus up here, mate. Firstly, congratulations today on the win, and you've featured in a lot of our votes. But you must be really stoked with the four-quarter performance from you boys today. You've matched it with a few teams in coming weeks, but today singing the song is reward for what you've put up throughout the whole season.
Yeah, that's definitely right, mate. We feel like, you know, even though we've lost a few games by 10 goals and here and there, we definitely feel like we're in those games, and it's just lapses in concentration that cost us in the end. But it was good to get away today.
James, it's Peter Bear, mate. Congratulations on your game today. I thought you really relished that opportunity to play as that loose man when you got the opportunity in defence and really set up and run off and hurt the opposition rebounding from your defensive 50.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It is a bit of a focus if I can drop off, but just got to make sure I can get back on my man when the time comes, when they win the footy back.
James, it's Ray up here. Congratulations on your game, as the other boys said, mate. That wind out there, particularly in that third quarter when you were kicking up to the road end, was it difficult to judge the ball?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt sorry for the boys kicking for goal, but when the ball was coming in high and long, it was definitely a bit of a task to pick where I was going to land. But yeah, it was definitely a factor.
Well, James, thanks for joining us here on the broadcast team. Congratulations today, mate. And in the moment, you're actually leading our best on-ground performance. So hopefully we chat to you soon and present that award.
Perfect, mate. Thanks for that. Cheers, boys.
There you go, guys. James Bello of the East Ringwood Football Club. While we do have our boundary riders there, if we could get a 3, 2 and 1 from you, please, Will Taylor. He's not even listening, so we'll bypass that one. Peter Bed, if you have a comment on today's game, where do you think the East Ringwood Football Club are bound for? Because they showed today when they played their best footy, they're up there and they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are. And it's all about application for them. When their endeavour and application's really high, their intensity around the stoppages is really good. But when they have those lapses, as James Bello mentioned there, that's when they fall away. And that's when North Ringwood got into the game in the second term. And it was almost like they thought at times during that second quarter, because they were kicking against the wind, they couldn't score. And it was about trying to minimise the damage that North Ringwood could do. But because of that, their intensity at the stoppages dropped away, and that's where they really got hurt.
Let's cross boundary side now with Maxie, and he's got the man of the moment, Chris Journey.
Yeah, that's right, boys. Now, Chris, congrats on the win. You must feel pretty good after that.
Oh, bloody oath. We don't get to win very often anymore, so when we win, we make the most of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you spent all of the game running through packs and, bursting the game open. How did you approach the game today? Were you intending to do that, or were you just sort of, that's just how you play?
I pretty much do that every week, I think. That's the only thing I've got going for me. So, no, I have had my 2007 Premiership reunion here today. They're all down here in front of me, so had to put on a bit of a show for them.
Yeah, we'll get some questions from up on the balcony from the boys.
Chris, your 4th win of the season, mate. I'm sure the beers taste pretty good after a win like today, but what does it mean to get up against your arch rival in North Ringwood?
Yeah, it felt like we owed them. Round one slipped away in the last minute of the game, so them and South Croydon are probably our 2 main rivals across the road, so yeah, it's pretty nice to get a win against them.
Chris, in the second quarter, it's Peter Baird here, mate. In that second quarter, it looks as though almost from up here in the box where we're watching the game, that your intensity around stoppages, the whole team sort of dropped away when you weren't kicking with that breeze after a fantastic first quarter. Would you reckon that's a fair assessment? And that's when North Ringwood sort of got into the game. After the half time, though, you really applied yourselves really hard, and from there you were able to shut them out in that last term, kicking against the breeze in similar situation.
Yeah, they kind of, the first quarter we killed them, and then it was like they kind of figured us out in that second quarter. They put someone to Osborne, kind of slowed his run down a little bit, and then after half-time, Buzz had a bit of a chat to us, and then, kind of put us back in a straight line, and, the rest is history.
Well, thanks for joining us here on the broadcast, Chris. Go and get a frothy in here, mate, because you certainly deserve it.
No worries. Thanks, fellas.
There you go, guys. Chris Channing there. He featured amongst the votes today, boys. But that throws to the other side of the coin, Ray. What's the destiny for North Ringwood? They've gone out and beaten teams like your Blackburns, so they come and put that up today. It's just not good enough.
No, well, look, I think that's their problem. Look, they're still in the building stage as far as I'm concerned. They still probably 2 or 3 top-line players away from being really competitive in Division 1. On their day, they're very, very good. But, but you also got to remember, Gus, I felt today they had a couple of injuries out there.
Tommy Hill
wasn't himself. Tommy Hill wasn't himself.
Why did you pick him then?
Well, I know, but that's not our job.
Adversity.
The thing is that, once you're out on the field, that's right, Pete, they've got to pull their weight. But today I just thought that those 2 players in particular, they didn't play their normal games, and for North Ringwood to be successful, they have got to be successful.
Boys, I feel they're lacking a genuine ruckman, North Ringwood. Although Joshy Ralph provides a contest and is good around the ground, I just feel he lacks that height and depth. I feel like he could be used better in a key position role. Do you think that's something Peter Banfield will look in 2018 to bring in a big dominant ruckman?
I reckon he'd be a good backup ruckman for them to
good
have.
Second.
Taraturo hasn't got the body size to go with guys like Cleven and Renton when when he gets switched into the ruck, and that's where they really got hurt. Ralph is okay. He's a serviceable ruckman, but they probably need that dominant ruckman that can really be utilised around the ground. One thing we saw today with East Ringwood is when their ruckman was resting, we saw Renton go forward and be a really good target up forward for them, and we saw Cleven drop back and become that kick behind the play. It's across centre half back, and that really hurt North Ringwood at times because they weren't able to do that with both their ruckman in Taratura and Ralph. So that's probably something that the Banners is going to have to look at going forward.
Yeah, it certainly is. Before we cross boundary side to our boundary riders to get their votes in a couple minutes' time, we will go through the Vibro goal of the day, a $50 gym voucher for a deep tissue massage, perfect for any players needing recovery. Boys, I think it's quite anonymous. Maddie Shepherd's goal in the last quarter was an absolute cracker.
I like Waitman's one in the first quarter, personally. That's the one I reckon was the goal of the day.
Waitman's was a good goal of the day, I reckon, too.
That's the one I reckon. But,
so who's that? Who are you? Oh, that's right. Brash is back. Wayne Brash is back in the corner. I didn't know who he was talking to.
I think there's more cheese on the table.
So what do you reckon, boys?
I'm with Waitman. I reckon that goal there, early in the game, when the game was on the line, I reckon that was the one that was the really goal of the day. Shepherd's one was a ripper, but yeah, I'm with Waitman.
Okay, what about you, Ray Baird?
I'll go with the flow.
Oh, come on, get off the fence.
Always splinters out of your backside and pick one.
Well, I like Shepherds in the last quarter.
Typical. What about you, boundary riders? If you can hear me, that's all right. Ben Warren Smith, I know you had your votes down for Maddie Shepherd as the goal of the day, and I'm going to go with Maddie Shepherd as well, which means it is a tie, so we'll have to wait for our boundary riders.
Well, I can't be right with everything, can I?
Well, you can't, so we're going to give it to Maddie Shepherd. Maddie Shepherd has won the goal of the day, the Vibro goal of the day. $50 gym voucher for any deep tissue massage, perfect for any players requiring recovery. Guys, let's turn our attention now to the Tobin Brothers player of the day. We've had the votes from the panel. Now let's get Maxie's votes for his 3, 2 and 1, one of our many boundary riders for the day.
Not much time to think about that one, but yeah.
You've had 2 hours.
I've got to give, let's have a look at this. Yeah, 1 vote to Andrew Retton. I thought he really held their attack up today. Did a really good job. 2 votes to Dean Cleven. He was just all over it for them, and the reason they had such dominance in the middle. And then 3 votes goes to James Bello, who was just dominant in the back line across half-back.
Thanks, great work there from you, Maxie, on the boundary line today. Really appreciate your efforts. Will Taylor, can we have your 3, 2 and 1, please? Well, let's go to the votes so far while Will finally gets a microphone ready. Got to love a bit of dead air here on Radio Eastern 98.1. Will Taylor, your 3, 2 and 1.
Yeah, look, my 1 vote today, I actually gave my 1 vote to Owen Chadwell. I thought the way he played and really shut down the midfield for North Ring. I gave him 1 vote today. 2 votes to Andrew Renton. He dominated the tap-outs in that game as well. And I gave my 3 votes to the one we just spoke to, James Bello, for 3 votes.
Well, Will, I don't know what game you were watching with those two, but James Bello certainly was a very dominant very dominant backman today. And James Bello comes away with, if my math serves me correctly, 15 votes, and will come away with the Tobin Brothers Player of the Day. He receives a $50 Coles Myer voucher, with judging by what I know of James Bell, that'll be going to Liquorland straight away, and be buying a slab of VB to celebrate the great win from the East Ringwood Football Club, boys. What a cracking day it has been, Will. But what caught your eye on the boundary line today? Because there was a lot of tussle and bustle, particularly between Griffiths and a few other boys.
Absolutely. Just before I do that, though, Gus, I'm going to go for the stats. Thanks to Choose Tap, Matt Stats.
Thanks, mate.
Inside forward 50s, East Ringwood 48, North Ringwood 38. In the clearances today, East Ringwood 57, North Ringwood 37. Marks inside forward 50s was 6-4 in favour of North Ringwood. Free kick count was 23-15 in favour of North Ringwood. And the major one, which I actually felt was the key in today's game, especially into advantage, was the tap-outs. East Ringwood 90 to North Ringwood 31, and about 70 of those was tapped into advantage for East Ringwood, and that I thought was the real difference in that game today.
Yeah, one of the things I did pick up on the tap work, they were tapping very shallow. I felt if, East Ringwood had a tap to advantage and tap long frosty, they could have got a few more clearances running out of their half back line.
No, I reckon that was by design, Gus. I reckon their midfielders are those ones that are strong around the stoppages. Guys like Cherney and Evans Marcius, that's where they want it. They want it at their feet. They want to be able to bullock their way through a stoppage, so that's why the tap work was going to in shallow around the stoppages.
Yeah, I agree there.
Just talking to the EFL media manager Dan Senchik, we haven't actually got a Trojan Workhorse Award today. We haven't got the toolbox here with us though, so it will be provided to whoever wins it retrospectively in a few weeks' time when they more come into EFL House. But I reckon there's our standout. I reckon Dean Cleveland was fantastic today. Real workhorse in the ruck for him today. I reckon he's a standout winner.
Yeah, well, for me, I think I'm going to go to the other side of the table. I'm going to look towards North Ringwood. I thought Aaron Fenton in the midfield today.
For sure.
Aaron Fenton was super. He didn't put the tools down when they were getting pumped. I know Frosty's shaking his head because he tipped East Ringwood. He doesn't want anything to do with North Ringwood. But Ben Warren-Smith, you called the game. I'm sure you have opinion on who was the Trojan workhorse today.
Well, he didn't get best on ground, but I thought Cherney was absolutely fantastic for the East Ringwood Football Club today. He was bullocking his way. He was covering a mountain of ground as well. And the pure definition, I would say, of a Trojan workhorse today. That's my opinion.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Well, Ben Warren-Smith, you are the broadcast
Max agrees with me as well.
You do get to have the final say. Ben Warren-Smith, who is getting the Trojan Workhorse Award today?
Well, it's the man who I just mentioned, my friend. Chris Cherney, we heard him down. I'll tell you what a popular fella he is around the football club as well. You should have seen, there's probably about 60 or 70 people outside the room stirring him up massively as he was doing that interview. It was really good to see as well. And he was straight on the cans after the game. So
rightfully so.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's you know how cold it is today, Gus. When I've I had one can at the start of the day and I still haven't finished it. So you know that it's too cold to even have a drink out here today.
Is it a Slurpee? Is it a beer Slurpee? It's that bloody cold.
The only good thing about it is the warm ones that I had in the car will now be cold.
Well, Ben, that leads me to a question I asked of Frosty before. What does the future hold for East Ringwood Footy Club? Are they building towards something special here?
Well, look, they've been a Division 1 football club for a very, very long time, and wins like today were so important just to give them that breathing space. We know now with the situation at the bottom end of the ladder, it's going to probably be very difficult for Bayswater to edge themselves out of that relegation contention. And I tell you what, East Ringwood, they'll be able to build on this. Marcus Pizzaglo, he's been at the helm for a few seasons now, Brash, and he's doing a fantastic job. I know you've got a close relationship with him, but he is the right man for the job to send this club forward and into the finals in Division 1 football.
Yeah, most definitely. BWS you know, look, crucial win today. That's 4 wins for them for the season, 3 ahead of Bayswater. Hard to see where Bayswater are going to find those extra 3 wins. But, you know, look, probably one of the other things we probably haven't talked about today, and I think really, I think the reason why these two sides are basically where they are was, you know, look, I was a little bit disappointed with the disposal going into the forward line this afternoon for both sides. You know, look, I think North Ringwood were a little bit timid in the second half. I didn't think they attacked the contest as much, and just their ball and hand skills I thought were well off today. That being said, I thought East Ringwood took the game on, but also their hand and foot skills also left a lot to be desired as well. So both sides have got something to work on there.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Brash. I know you have you're a big fan of Marcus Pizzaglo. He's one of the only coaches who gets your prize stats, apart from us on the media team. But let's start wrapping up today's play. To you boundary riders, Will, Taylor, and Maxie, making your second time on the boundary. Thanks for joining us here on the program today, and a cracking job in all the weather conditions that were served up.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, look, it was a great game out there, and East Ringwood fully deserved the win today.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Ben Warren-Smith, I know you've got a few people to thank as the broadcast manager, and you can start out with Frosty Bear. What a great job.
I was leaving it up to you, Gus. You've done a fantastic job today, mate, hosting EFL Sunday as always, and doing it a little bit different today from the ground as well, which will be the case as well as we go deeper into the season around finals time, where we do have Saturday and Sunday broadcasts. So for all the EFL fans out there, EFL Sunday come finals time, we'll start at 12 o'clock and go till about 1:45 before we kick off the big action. But a great effort by the boundary riders as we've just gone through. Ray Baird, he's absolutely frozen, old mate Ray, today. Good to have you on the team, mate, in special comments. And you can't, only 6 more sleeps till you get to call Donny East next Saturday afternoon. I know you can't wait for that. Good stuff, mate. And of course, Peter Frosty Baird, the the big man that used to milk cows for a living. I tell you what, it's great to have him back on board this year. He's done a great amount of work behind the scenes, which doesn't get enough recognition that it should. And of course, joining us on EFL Sunday and on game day. It's great to have you back, Frosty, and you'll be back in the special comments chair and potentially a caller's chair in the not too distant future.
Oh, mate, the pleasure's been all yours, but I've loved being out here. I've loved being out here today. That's been great. And yeah, once again, all I want to say is, boys, I told you so today. You should have listened to me in the team. I told you East Ringwood would get up. So, but no, it's been fantastic. So, and congratulations to the East Ringwood Footy Club.
Oh, yeah.
They were fantastic, super today, and they fully deserved their win.
The club's invited us all inside the new pavilion as well for a beverage after. Of course, Wayne Brasher.
Thanks, wonderful.
He wasn't on board officially on the EFL media team today, but I tell you what, you ask him to step in, and he does that job with aplomb every single time. Hosted the pre-match show also, and stepping in at halftime and after the match. Brasher, only a couple more weeks till you head off to New York, mate, but great to have you on board again today, and can't wait to sit alongside you again next Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to the next couple of weeks, BWS, before the annual leave kicks in.
And of course, Gus McLeod, magnificent effort, mate. I tell you what, you've really become a very good caller in only a few matches already this year, and it was really good fun calling beside you today. I know you've learnt a lot off Rex Hunt over the years, and it's showing through a little bit, but you're putting a lot of your take on the situation, and it's very entertaining.
Thanks, BWS. Yeah, Rexy always told me if you don't know his name, make it up, and I reckon I did a pretty good job of that today, not knowing who half the players were. So yeah, if I've learned something from Rex, that'll be it. And well done to you, BWS. You know, I said we had the dream team here today, and that we certainly did, led by you, mate. Well done, the broadcast manager of the EFL.
Love being out here at East Ringwood today. Thanks to Lockie Green on the camera, 2 days in a row. Done fantastic job. Of course, Leroy also just making sure everything goes along swimmingly. We love those instant replays. We love the slow motion. We love the comments from the side as well. And looking forward to having him back on board. Bruce Press from the Loft Productions. What a fantastic effort it's been by him all weekend. He's Saturday and Sunday. He's the first one here. He's the last one to leave. And I'll make sure he gets his light beer tonight because I left him in the lurch yesterday afternoon. But a fantastic job by you, mate, and a great job by the whole media team as a whole. Dan Sensick working on the social media as well, our EFL media manager, who's a little bit under the weather but did a fantastic job. See you next week, Doncaster East.